grown man, I'ma talk to the fellas for a minute. You know, we call these women out their name and treat them so bad that they begin to expect that. We claim we want a queen, but we ain't acting like kings. We claim we want a goddess, but we ain't acting like gods. So fellas, let me ask you, when the last time you went to the projects, scooped up one of them chickens, and turned that into chicken soup? Check it, I see potential in you, sister friend. Yeah, I know about your past, and I know you've been with different men. Now we'll talk, I hope you're listening. You let these fellas run game, but in the end you didn't get the win. Now you straddled with 3 kids, 3 baby daddies with 3 bids, and 3 who claim it ain't his. Who in this an empty fridge, that you got your hair done, nails done, everything did, huh? Is this a chicken? By definition, I'm checking. Listen, no disrespecting, but sisters, now here's the question. You mean the brother, he hit in to get the step, and you did it for his erection, or was it for his affection? You can paint the pic if you're an artist. She just wants some love so she can stick it where her heart is. Brothers just be focusing on hitting it the hardest. She just need a man who's gonna raise her from a chicken to a goddess, right? Real men, throw your hands up. Grown man, pull your pants up. Time for you to stand up. You know these women can't stand us, because we call them out their name, call them lame, treat them scandalous. We claim they never understand us, so we steady running game. It's a shame we never man up. Oh yeah, I used to call them chickens too, but I'm an alchemist now, so I turn them into chicken soup. Throwing the veggies when she's not looking. Check it, she don't even know she's in the pot cooking, sweating, and the effects are immediate when this is through. I just need to add the ingredients for chicken soup. I drop a tool and give her someone to listen to. Her house is a home now, it's no longer a pigeon coop. These fellas quick to tell you all that they regulated, but how many women have they elevated? Let's estimate it. They wanna eat, but they don't wanna cook that meal, or shop for them groceries, they want the fast food deal. Now meanwhile, I got her sauteing, they all saying she looking much better while you was out ball playing. Throwing a dash of love, respect, honor, treat her children like my own, go and meet her mama. Yeah, I'll admit, things were sick when I met her, but you know that chicken soup will make us all feel better, right? Real men, throw your hands up. Grown man, pull your pants up. Time for you to stand up. You know these women can't stand us, because we call them out their name, call them lame, treat them scandalous. We claim they never understand us, so we steady running game. It's a shame we never man up. Oh yeah, I used to call them chickens too, but I'm an alchemist now, so I turn them into chicken soup. Remember that chicken I saw potential in? But she's a queen now, that's real talk, it ain't worth mentioning. Cause I forgave her for her past discretions. There's no looking past the present, there's a master lesson. So I gave her knowledge of self-esteem, to get her mind right and everything else it seems just fell in line right as soon as she felt the king. Because when I'm right, you know I'ma help the queens, right? And don't assume who I'm speaking to. It's real talk, I know some chickens who be vegans too. Don't try to scramble like an egg because I'm beating you. Over the head with the truth, I'm just teaching you, so keep it boo. We need to add our ingredients together. You be the queen, I'll be the king, it's whatever. Let's form a tight bond that the world couldn't sever. Cause you know that chicken soup will make us all feel better, right? Real men, throw your hands up. Grown man, pull your pants up. Time for you to stand up. You know these women can't stand us, because we call them out their name, call them lame, treat them scandalous. We claim they never understand us, so we steady running game. It's a shame we never man up. Oh yeah, I used to call them chickens too, but I'm an alchemist now, so I turn them into chicken soup. Real men, throw your hands up. Grown man, pull your pants up. Time for you to stand up. You know these women can't stand us, because we call them out their name, call them lame, treat them scandalous. We claim they never understand us, so we steady running game. It's a shame we never man up. Oh yeah, I used to call them chickens too, but I'm an alchemist now, so I turn them into chicken soup.
Free meals? What part of the game is that? You taking her to Red Lobster with the cheddar biscuits. The fam ain't eating cheddar biscuits, but this random broad is eating cheddar biscuits.
I know the game. Your granddaddy knows the game.
Game recognized game, granddad.
I recognize game. Your granddaddy recognized game.
Game recognized game, and you looking kinda unfamiliar right now. I can't. Where's granddad? Can I help you, sir?
to mess around with y'all. I got a date. Get out the way.
Don't do it, Granddad. Don't feed her.
Come on now, stop. Get out my way.
Don't feed her. Let's
Don't try
get
to pull
her.
me back. Get
I don't see what the big deal is with hoes anyway. You know, my ex-girlfriend basically.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News. Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing a special report today on what is known widely as BrownieGate, or the Great Brownie Conspiracy. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try to give you two different perspectives of this whole situation, as entertaining as it might be. Ladies and gentlemen, either A, this is one of the most, this may very well be one of the most creative and well put together trolls that we may have ever seen, or Phil is a liar, which we pretty much all know that already, and he's overextended himself. Let me explain. First off, I hope you guys liked the early GTG radio. There were some people that I wanted to shout out, everybody who, well, as best I could, I should say, who really stuck in there with that last video. It was super long, and it was late. And shouts out to LA, dude, who sat there and listened to it twice. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate it. Hopefully you liked your particular shout out that we put together for you. Kevin and Kenny thought you'd like it. So let's talk about this Brownie conspiracy. Okay, so the essentials, ladies and gentlemen, is it goes back to Phil's tax problem. And with that being said, the tax issue is he wasn't paying tax. He wasn't paying a state business tax. And in turn, he went to his fan base to basically bail him out, as Phil does with all of his problems. Well, then we have another aspect of that. Then you tie in the new girlfriend also. And this new girlfriend has been, the speculations on her has been rather numerous. And at the time when he was taking his basically early Christmas vacation, it had coincided a little bit with a young lady named Kimberly, who is basically a high-end escort. And she had thrown some stuff out there that would make one believe that it's possible that Phil and her did spend that bit of time together. Now, a lot of people will say, and a lot of people think that that as decent, as well put together as her story is, there's some holes. It looks fake. At the same time, a lot of people also can coincide with a lot of what she's saying as it pertains to the timeline, and a lot of things that she said beforehand, before Phil actually said it. What BrownieGate, what makes the things interesting about BrownieGate, so to speak, excuse me, is the fact that we're assuming Ahmad and whatnot. By now, his name's out there. But Ahmad had asked Phil for a brownie recipe that he had made with his girlfriend. Now, we know for sure that Phil and his girlfriend had put some cookies together and made some other little treats or whatever. But one of his mods asks him about a brownie recipe that him and his girlfriend made. Phil, not realizing that he might have been put in a type of situation, ends up telling him what the recipe is, or at least where to find it. This right here is a couple of days after Kimberly online had said that they had made brownies and whatnot. She had made her Dutch brownies for him, or whatever the case may be. So now it's called some things into question. This mod right here feels like he may have caught Phil in a lie, and he himself is starting to have his doubts. Now, there's a problem with that, ladies and gentlemen, which we will get into 2 videos later on that will actually expand upon that. First off, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me. This mod, Phil has admitted to us, has gone in deep cover, so to speak, to see what the detractors and the haters and the trolls have been doing. So this guy's has played double agent before, essentially. And he's fed Phil information. He's laid out circumstances and supposed plots and situations and whatnot. So with that being said, how much can you really take for granted on that. If the guy's been deep cover before. You know what I mean? Second, and this one is kind of crucial, depending on who the person is, if it's who I'm thinking it is, he's been in the trenches with Phil for a very long time. A very long time. Long enough to make you think that I would, or at least to make myself think that his loyalty to Phil would never be shaken. Not at all. So it would seem odd that now, after all the time this guy's put in, all the money that he's put in, this guy has bled for Phil. Now, am I saying literally, like he's literally bled for Phil? Like he's been bleaking plasma? No. But he's put himself in some situations to defend Phil, and he's bled for Phil. So why now? Why now are you willing to show some doubt to Phil? Why now? Well, I propose to you this, ladies and gentlemen. I propose that this, possibly, I don't know for sure, obviously, but possibly, that he himself is trying to play triple agent. Let me explain. This guy right here already has a history of going a deep cover for Phil to get him information. If this guy comes out and publicly doubts Phil and whatnot and leaks this whole story about the Brownie situation, that doesn't necessarily put him on the detractor side of it. But what it does is it allows him an opportunity to push himself. It allows him to position himself in certain circles to at least get more information than he would otherwise. And in turn, he can play off of that to expose who is truly behind this. If Kimberly is a real person or if it's just an elaborate trolling. And like I said, and keep in mind, Phil has been is usually in constant contact with this guy through, direct messages and PMs and whatnot. So they have a quote unquote intimate type of relationship. So you're telling me that these guys couldn't have possibly come up with a plan to do this, to figure it all out? Now, just something to marinate on, ladies and gentlemen, just something to marinate on. Let's go back to what I said before, whether this Brownie situation is an elaborate plot, just an amazing troll and whatnot, just a great way to end off 2017 leading into 2018, or did Phil fuck up? Let me explain. If it's an elaborate troll, then it's supposed to be what all of this is supposed to be, ladies and gentlemen. It's supposed to be entertaining. It's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be something for us to laugh at and whatnot, analyze how stupid Phil is and just keep it moving. There is a bit of a backlash to that, though. If this is just an elaborate troll, and given Phil's sensibilities and how he feels the need to prove himself, he could, and he really does have a girlfriend, he's going to end up exposing her to prove his own point, which means he's going to end up putting her in the snowstorm with no clothes on. And that's going to end up getting people told on. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a problem. It's a very big problem that now Phil's basically being pressured by this trolling, let's say if it's a troll. Let's say this whole thing's a trolling situation. It's putting Phil's back against the wall to where he has to bring this girl out. He has to put this girl into the limelight to justify, in his own mind, his own credibility and in a slightly less but more entertaining type of way, his own manhood. I know most of you get what I'm saying. He has to put her out there now. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, when he initially told us about this girl, he said that, hey, I'm not going to put her out there. She has, I quote, no aspirations for having an online presence, meaning doing YouTube, doing Twitch, doing any of these things, which it sounds like Phil had her set up, or at least in his own mind, set up to have her do these things. Let's say, for example, this young lady is an 8, an 8.5, a 9. It would look good for Phil to have a very pretty young lady who is willing to stream, not just with him, but to stream on her own. There are plenty of couples who stream together with some very beautiful women who bring in that bread. Not all of them, because, some of them, you go by, you see the dog and pony show for a little while, and you may subscribe to them, and then you might throw a little money at them, and then you're out. I guess, if you're into stuff like that. And then you got some dudes who are in there for the long haul. So it's possible that he may have had that in the works for her, at least mentally. It was something that he was thinking about in the long run. But that's neither here nor there. Let's look at it from the other side of the coin, though, ladies and gentlemen. if it does come down to being that, let's say it does end up being a lie. Let's say that Phil really did pay this money to spend this time for the girlfriend experience with Kimberly. It makes him look like a total cock. It makes him look like a fucking idiot. And more importantly, it only it makes him look like a liar, or it makes him out to be a liar. But then now you have to question, what else has he lied about? The sad part about that is, ladies and gentlemen, is there always will be a core group of DSP fans who won't care and will continue to support him. And that enables him to continue doing what he does. So those are the two sides of it. You could say that it's a win and whatnot. If it's a lie, you could say that it's a win for the detractor community. It's not. It's not like anybody's, sitting here, getting ready to crack champagne open or anything. But at the same time, it doesn't change anything. It's not like it's going to be a mass exodus from him. He's always going to have a core group of people that believe in him. If it's a massive troll, he's going to end up exposing this new girlfriend for no reason, just to prove his own point. And that right there is kind of sad, because now I thought, yet again, Phil, I thought you said you were trying to protect her. I thought you said you didn't want to make the same mistakes that you made with Leanna. It sounds to me like you're doing the exact same thing. And one of the things that I'd like to point out to you as it pertains to whether if she's real or not, if she's real, if he really does have a girlfriend, she needs to sit there and listen to some of the things that he said recently and really evaluate if this is what she wants. If I remember correctly, and in the two videos that I've chosen, the first things he says is that, she's gonna move in, she's gonna find a job here, and she's gonna help me with this house and my bills. Second thing he says, and then she'll be able to start cooking and helping with the house, the responsibilities in the house. Third thing and final thing he says, she'll be able to, be there for that emotional support that, I really need after having a tough day and that, that together time that I really need with somebody. Okay, so what are you providing her, for example? What are you guys going to build together? The first two things that he mentioned were finances. How it's going to financially benefit him. I don't see any real benefits for her, to be honest. TBH. I don't see it. I'm seeing how this situation will work for him, not for her. And more importantly, he has already laid out what he expects her to do when she gets there. So what's the real payoff for this young lady to uproot herself from wherever the hell she lives at and come and move in with this guy who has what? A house that he's barely paying? A condo in another state that he refuses to go to? Who is a toxic human being who's considered the King John or the fucking toilet of the internet? What future is in this for her? As I lay all this stuff out to you, these right here are the sets and circumstances that make you believe that he's lying. So now he's going around saying, you guys will see, the detractors will see when she finally shows up. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do let's plays together or co-ops. We're gonna do DSP tries it. I'm gonna bring back Cooking with the King. You'll see. All you guys who doubt me and whatnot, wait till she comes back and you'll see that she's real, and you guys will finally have my back, and you guys will realize that you guys are all idiots the whole time for doubting me. Is she an imaginary friend that you're trying to dream up? Who are you trying to convince, Phil? Us or yourself? He speaks like someone who is so insecure within himself that he has to, it's almost like he has to make her exist in his own frame of mind. So in the hopes that she will almost materialize in the real world. It's destructive. Now, let's go back to that mod that went AWOL, essentially. Either A, he's essentially playing triple agent and whatnot, because the way, at least from what I've seen and how it's laid out, he has a lot of benefits from playing Phil, playing, the detractors, the haters, and the trolls, and then going back and playing Phil again. And more importantly, you got to understand, he has to have his own stints too. He has to have his own side that he's playing for. He has to have an ulterior motive to all this on his own. This is a lot to go through just for Phil. But then again, if it's who I think it is, this person's already bled for Phil in a public online setting. So this right here, I guess in some ways would be nothing more than just the logical step. We will see. But ladies and gentlemen, that right there is my initial report on what I feel about the Brownie conspiracy. At least some of it. I've listened to a lot of people talk about it and what their particular thoughts are. Like I said, we should all pretty much take all of this with a grain of salt on both sides of the spectrum. Yes, Kimberly has shown up in quite a few places, and the DMs that was sent between her and Phil are, well, they're blurred out, so we don't really know what's there and what isn't. There really isn't too much there, and that doesn't make her a liar, but it also, you could see where doubt would come into play. Yet again, ladies and gentlemen, we're not here to really straddle any part of the fence. I'm just here to just give you my idea or give you my thoughts on it. That's really all I can provide you. And a lot of it will come out of Phil's mouth directly. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get into the video segment. You guys know how this works. It'll be Snort Burnell. We'll have GTG Radio, and we will end off with Mr. Stuffs. And I will have another segment of GTG Radio maybe, and then we'll have some closing thoughts. The following video will cover the fundraiser situation with Metal Gear Solid and how that nonsense is working out in its own right. It's really just a tragic situation. It's a sad situation all around. But yet again, ladies and gentlemen, just laugh at it and move, essentially. I will say that for this young lady's sake, if the girlfriend is real, I should say, she really needs to kind of understand the person that she's with. Because look at how Phil is now. Phil is so manic on trying to prove that she exists that he's going to put her in the very jeopardy, or he's going to put her in the type of situation that he said he wasn't going to, for nothing more than his own ego and nothing else. And it's, I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I don't understand I don't understand exactly what the situation is. I don't understand what he's trying to play towards. Maybe he's not trying to play towards anything. Like I said, he's greedy beyond compare. For someone who runs around and talks about mentally ill this, mentally ill that, it makes you wonder what how he is, where he's at mentally, if anything. But ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to talk about that now. We're going to go ahead and get into this whole Brownie situation. Should be interesting. As usual, leave your thoughts down below if you have any, as it pertains to the situation. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG network and productions. You guys all know the slogan. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Oh my God! What the fuck?
Oh my God.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is Snort Burnell, DsPgaming, addressing the escort situation. Riveting. Here we go.
Sound good?
Yep.
I was completely blown away by the stupidity of stuff going on behind the scenes that I have no part of and have no knowledge even of, at all.
I know you're lying.
And finally got, kind of semi-informed about what was going on as I joined Stream Chat today to start the stream. I was like, huh? I'm the most clueless one of all of you.
Because as you guys know, I don't partake in drama or nonsense or the bullshit that these morons on the internet tend to make up around me. What?
Yet you felt the need to make a 45-minute video about this? You know, the drama that you don't involve yourself in? Alrighty. Sure.
Am I toxic?
They basically just take shit and make it up about me, and then I hear about it later, and I'm like, huh? And 99% of the time I ignore it, but in this case, I guess it got blown up to the point where someone who has been a long-standing, fan and or ally of mine, a mod, got fooled or whatever by what's been going on. So I'm going to address it briefly just to explain it. So what's been going on with the nonsense and the drama behind the scenes, let's address it, alright, since some people are so confused now, including apparently one of my longtime moderators now has basically mind-fucked himself. But I just gotta shake my head and be like, I don't know why people listen to any of this shit.
You gotta listen to me and not listen to the people who spin what I say.
If you're any older than like 5 years old or have the maturity of anyone past like a grade school level, you would realize how stupid this shit is. It's just so dumb. Seriously. At this point, it's just so ridiculously stupid.
I'm not a whiny baby. I'm a mature adult.
And that's what...
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if that really was the case, why would he keep giving this life? You know what I mean? Like, if it was just that, if it was just stupid banter, why is he giving it life? Why is he allowing it to breathe? And doing that by addressing it. He should just let it go. As Theo in particular said, all right, so he ordered an escort. So what? You know what I mean? I mean, the only real drawback to that is the fact that he used the supporters' money for it. But outside of that, who cares? He should just let that ride. You know what I mean? No pun intended. But he feels the need to try to, try to secure this self-image that he has and his persona or prosona online that he thinks is just in such high standings. And he stands behind his little 10-year legacy and whatnot as if that means anything. You did it for this long because you had nowhere else to go. You know what I mean? Every other place you went, you shitted it up. And you didn't have any other choice. You refused to want to work. You know what I mean? And it's funny how every platform that you say you're not going to go to, or you're not going to do, or so on and so forth, you end up going to later. And then you come up with this pathetic excuse of a reason like, oh, well, I didn't need it at that time, but I need it now. So why is everybody giving me problems? Because you talk shit about it all, before, dumbass. If you never know what life is going to bring to you, ever. So it would be in your best interest just not to say anything about a situation. If, for example, if someone goes to, if someone came to me and was like, hey man, we have this they got like this not Kickstarter, but like, let's say a variation of Kickstarter and whatnot. And, people are starting to use it, man. People are really starting to like it, man. They're making a lot of money. It can help with your production. It can help you with equipment, so on and so forth. Okay, I would sit there and be like, I'm not really interested in that right now, but I'm not going to bash it. You know what I mean? It's an option, but it's not something that I need right now. But that doesn't mean I'm above it. It just means I don't need it, or it's not something that I'm interested in at the moment. I don't need to say anything about it. Just let's let it be. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? If that puts people into position who really do need it, or who could really appreciate, you know what I'm saying, having that advantage, then so be it. I shouldn't have anything negative to say about it. Just don't say anything. But see, Phil has to have an opinion about every single thing. And then it blows up in his face later on when he ends up having to run to it. And it just makes him look stupid and greedy in most situations. But it's neither here nor there.
I don't bother myself with it. I ignore it. But now, let me just give you some perspective here, all right? As you guys know, I've announced a few weeks back that I have a girlfriend.
My girlfriend, it's Darth Vader Van Viking with a wig.
And she came and stayed with me and spent about 5 days, I want to say. In early December with me, we had our Christmas celebration. We put up my Christmas tree. We decorated the house. I showed her putting ornaments on our Christmas tree. We went around to different stores and stuff, all kinds of different stuff. It was a very nice visit. And, it sucks that she couldn't be here with me during the real Christmas because she had to work and I had to work. But, she doesn't live here in Seattle. So for her to take time off to come and spend time with me for our own kind of private Christmas celebration in early December was really nice. It was a really special thing, and it went down really well. Now, here's the thing. I'm not revealing any private information about my girlfriend because look what happened with my ex.
Yet you felt the need to take pictures of her and post it online. Whether we got to see her face or not is kind of irrelevant, if you really think about it. But you felt the need to put her out there like that. To do what? To stroke your own ego? And to take advantage of all the attention that you were getting, right? Because that's essentially why he did it. He did it to draw more attention to himself. And then he sits back and acts like he doesn't understand what's going on and why people are obsessed with him. He needs this. That's why it's, in my personal opinion, that's the reason why he puts his information out there like that. He has this urge, this need to be recognized. And at this point, he doesn't care if it's positive or negative. He'll take whatever he can get. And if it's negative, he believes it works out because, it'll draw more attention to me so I can get more sympathy. But then when the haters and the detractors and the trolls come at him in full force, then he's like, no, I don't want any more. Please stop. No mas. No. Nah. Sorry. That's not how this works. You know what I'm saying? You can't be saved by the bell. You know what I'm saying? So you take this beating until you either fight back or you drop. And he just never seemed to be able to... He never could understand that. He still can't. And so that's why he keeps repeating the same mistakes over and over again. What you gonna do? DSP News.
All the private information got out there. People went out and did horrendous things to her and me. They attacked us. They attacked my family. They attacked her family. They even swatted my ex-girlfriend's dad. All right, it's fucked up. It really is fucked up. And the bottom
Still no proof of that, though.
line is, ever since I announced that I have a girlfriend, people are going absolutely nuts trying to get information about it. It's gross. All right, it's absolutely gross. Look at this idiot right here. Yeah, another troll tip. You see what I mean? It's so dumb.
Well, thank you for the troll tip. You are a moron. It's so hilarious because this is the thing. They will leave troll tips and shit on my streams to try to get a message out, even though none of you could even read that. And they actually pay me money to do this. That's how dumb these people are. All right. But anyway, they've been desperately trying to get information about my girlfriend ever since I mentioned she existed. All right.
Now, here's the thing. These are the same people who've been trying to ruin my life. They swatted me. They DDoS attacked me. They put false copyright strikes.
I thought we were all about looking forward and not looking back. And yet he keeps victimizing himself with what happened back then with this, that, and the third. And some of that stuff is still in question. All right, I just want to throw that out there.
Against my YouTube channels. They completely spam my email as well as my physical mail with junk mail. They send pizzas to my house. They prank call me. They fucking alert tax agencies about me, saying that I don't pay my taxes. They do every possible...
Which you don't.
These are the people who, earlier this year, when I was trying to get with a new partnership company after leaving Machinima, basically trolled the fuck out of the partnership company and attacked them, and so the partnership company dropped the offer they had for me. Literally at every moment, these people just want to ruin my life. And that's the only reason they do this, alright?
I'm not a whiny baby.
So, they knew that I was in a bad state because of my tax situation, because I announced it a few weeks back, and now they know that I have a girlfriend, and I'm not going to reveal any information about her because I don't want her to be hurt like, my ex-girlfriend basically was, alright? I've learned from my mistakes. So what they've done is completely fabricated a whole situation here, alright, around what's going on with, what the fuck? I just got a copyright claim against Sonic Mania Part 4, which is the chemical plant. A video clip claimed by Porta dos Fundos Portudo e Distributa Audiovisual. I'm pretty sure this is a false claim. Alright, I'm pretty sure this is a pretty false fucking claim. What the fuck? That distracted the shit out of me. I'm going to have to dispute that claim later. I will save that email for later. Alright. So anyway, these people, alright, have been trying to discredit me. Alright? They've been not discredit me, but basically make me look bad. And first they say, the tax situation isn't true. Phil's just trying to raise money.
It's not about the money. It's not. I'm not here to take a paycheck.
He doesn't need the money for taxes. He's lying. Don't support Phil. The usual bullshit, right? The usual lies. Then, Phil doesn't really have a girlfriend. Or, first thing is, Phil has a girlfriend. She must be ugly. She must be, nuts. She must be this or that. Then they move.
I don't remember hearing any of that, to be honest with you. I don't remember any of that part. And it's funny, too, because for someone who doesn't pay any attention to the drama, it seems like he's staying on top of the situation. Or at least, he has his ears out there on that. He has his feelers, keeping tabs. But I don't remember that part. Then again, I wasn't paying attention to it that close. Hey, man, gotta stay to the moniker around here. Always late, never breaking.
Basically every possible evolution of how to hurt Phil, how to make Phil look bad or whatever. These people are sick. They've actually become this mob mentality of sickness on the internet, and they don't want to admit to themselves that they're fucked up in the head. So they group together, they circle jerk each other, they try to support each other so that they all feel good about themselves, when in reality, this really is just a mob mentality of sickness, okay?
You don't say?
My girlfriend, it's Darth Vader Van Viking with a wig. Get it tonight, baby. Delicious. Oh my God, yes. Ooh. Oh God. Oh yeah. Oh.
And that's what the new girlfriend has to look forward to. It's funny because I was talking to Pedro, right? He says that every once in a while, Leanne wakes up in cold sweats, and I wondered, why? You know what I mean? I wondered. And I remember sending this clip, you know what I mean, to Tyrone, and I guess he must have had it playing over the speakers or something. And they said when they went, they heard a thump. They went back into the bedroom, and she was like curled up into a ball. Absolutely fascinating, but yet again, it's rather telling. It's rather telling. I guess that's what it sounds like to be mauled by a bear. That smells like ham and failure. Interesting. Let's continue.
Oh. Viking getting destroyed. He also likes anals. I'm gay, totally gay.
So I talked about this a couple weeks ago, and I said, apparently, the latest rumor, which is completely unsubstantiated and based on zero facts because there are no facts, is that apparently I don't have a girlfriend. What I did is I paid for an escort to come visit me during this early week of December.
I hired an escort to come visit me during my Christmas break. I paid her thousands of dollars.
And, now, that's what it was. Phil could never get a girl. He paid for an escort. First of all right, this is so stupid. Because apparently the story, I guess what happened is there's some Twitter account out there pretending to be an escort that was with me this week or something. And
not that I read it or anything. I'm good at lying.
Not really.
Because I guess it was a Twitter account that as soon as I came back from time off started following me on Twitter and liking every tweet that I did, and then all of a sudden this Twitter account, basically, it was obvious it was one of these detractors who was watching all of my streams or whatever, because I would mention something. For example, I specifically remember on a pre-stream, someone said, "Hey Phil, what kind of games does your girlfriend like?" And I specifically referenced, I said, "I know she likes Assassin's Creed. She's been a lifelong kind of fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise, and she's followed them since Assassin's Creed 1. She really likes the series." Immediately, this Twitter account posted up, "I love Assassin's Creed. Here's a picture of Assassin's Creed. I'm playing Assassin's Creed." So basically, it's someone who's listening to what I say on streams or pre-streams, and then posts something up in response to it to make it seem like, oh, I'm really the girl or the girlfriend. Phil doesn't have a girlfriend. I'm the escort, and and you look at all these things that I'm saying that are in line with what Phil has been saying. The interesting thing here, all right, is that
she always, or I say she when it's probably a guy anyway. Wow.
It's funny how a guy who can't pay his own taxes and can't learn from his own mistakes was able to lay out the plot by these detractors to, expose him for lying about the whole girlfriend situation. It's amazing how he well, not really amazing, but it's interesting how he was able to put all that together. I'm not saying it's creative, but it's interesting nonetheless.
Another catfish account, one of the 1 million times that this has happened since I've been on YouTube. But whoever this is
obviously is obviously someone who listens or watches my stuff and then immediately responds. All right, there you go. So they've been doing this for about 2 weeks, making shit up and everything. Eventually, I got wind of it. Someone told me, "Phil, you're aware that they're referencing you every 5 seconds now on their Twitter account?" I said, "Fuck this! It's so stupid." All right, so I went ahead and blocked the Twitter account because I didn't want to deal with the stupid bullshit. I said, "I don't even know who this person is. I don't know if they're a real person or not. If it's a catfish account or not. I don't care." I blocked it. So apparently, since I blocked the Twitter account, this person isn't having their jollies anymore. They got all pissed off that I blocked the Twitter account. So now, realizing that they're getting all this attention for pretending to be an escort that visited me, they now make up all this shit. Apparently now I owe them money, which is hilarious, because again, I have to say this. I said this
Yet again, Snort Burnell brings up a very good point. How does he know that this troll account, as he says, is all pissed off about the situation? Just because you block somebody on Twitter? You just assume that they're pissed off? How does he know that? You know what I mean? Yet again. he has to be monitoring the situation, and it's obvious that he is. We all know this because, hey, he knows what detractors, he knows what the views are on detractor channels. He knows about the paid bots that they're allegedly paying for to get all these views. Just saying, yeah, the devil's in the details.
Weeks ago, I'll say it again. If anyone actually understands, all right, if anyone actually understands
how escorts work, you don't pay after the service is rendered. That's not how it works. Okay? Any high-end service, anything, you have to pay up front. It's that simple. That's how it works.
there is no escort on planet Earth that will spend 5 straight days with someone and then expect like a payment plan afterward. They don't do fucking financing. They don't do easy pay. You know what I mean?
Not to say that I've ever had an escort, because I have.
Sure. Yet you have the payment plan down, don't you?
But it's common fucking sense. Silver-tongued talker, right? Oh, I'm just going to say it one way, and hopefully you'll believe it, even though it's not the truth. And that's literally what's happening here. The guy's a liar. The guy's a fucking blatant liar and lying to everyone. But people are believing it because they don't know any better.
How would you operate a business on people spending time with your escorts and then expecting them to pay overtime later? That's not how it works. That's not reality, okay? So that being said, this is the stupidest thing ever, and the only people who would believe this story are gullible idiots.
Why am I toxic?
I'm sorry, if you believe this story with literally zero factual evidence of anything, there hasn't been a single piece of evidence whatsoever given about any of this that shows that any of it is real.
You are a moron. More toxic, more toxic. You are looking for drama. You're a drama queen. For some reason, you love this shit, okay? And it's your own fault. It's your own fault that you've either been duped or you've been fooled or whatever you say. If you actually believe any of this, it's your fault. There's no truth to any of it whatsoever, all right?
That's going on, all right? And, you know, I talked about it. And, you know, I talked about this, I think it was 2 weeks ago on a pre-stream, and I explained all this, all right? And I was like, whatever, it's in the past, I'm not going to address it anymore, there's no reason. They're just going to keep making shit up, all right? They're just going to keep making shit up over and over and over. And it's, you know what I mean? It's just going to balloon and let the idiots believe what they want, and I'm going to be here on my streams every day having fun, playing games. And by the way, it hasn't negatively affected anything if you guys aren't aware. You know, everything's been good. People have been showing up for streams and participating, and people have helped me out tremendously in the past couple weeks with contributions towards the tax situation and everything. So everything's been good, all right? So then, this particular week...
So good that you had to run a fundraiser right after getting all that money. You know, like, you know, because everything couldn't have been on the up and up if he felt the need to have a fundraiser. And even then, he still didn't hit the Patreon goal. He had to bring money over, or at least to my understanding, he had to bring money over from all the tips and donations and whatnot. Well, yeah, all the tips and all the extra stuff he made off his streams to go ahead and bring the Patreon goal into fruition. Which, if I remember correctly, going about it now, a lot of those videos are being demonetized because, you know, that's how Konami does. So, yeah, that worked out great, Phil. You're really winning. You're really winning.
Week coming up. I mentioned a couple days ago that I was going to be doing a fundraising stream on Saturday because this is kind of like the last push to try to get people to pledge to my Patreon so we can hit the monthly goal for this.
And he still didn't hit it. Well, he didn't hit the stretch goal. I think he hit the main goal, but he didn't hit the stretch goal.
Month. And so that we can do these Metal Gear Solid events in January. All right? I really need...
I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
Yep.
The support right now because I need these funds by the end of January to pay what this impending tax bill is. So I'm trying to motivate people to pledge to my Patreon. In particular, that's really what this event is for, to get people to pledge. All right? So that being said, all right, I announced this event immediately.
So he can motivate other people to give him money, but he can't motivate himself to get a job. Even a part-time job. Or he can't motivate himself, to work a little bit harder on his YouTube projects to try to make them more profitable. What? Like, how does that work exactly? I'm so confused.
Of course. Oh God, Phil's gonna do a fundraiser. We don't want Phil to be successful. We don't want Phil to be able to pay his taxes. We want him to lose his house and all this. So let's see what's the next possible thing we can fucking do here. All right, let's see what we can do. So again, trying to make shit up. I saw things over the past couple of days. They really went in like hardcore, and I guess now they're posting on fucking things like I don't even know. First of all, I don't even know what Kiwi Farms is. I'm just gonna bring that up. I don't even know what it is.
That's 100% a lie.
Yeah, more like
I honestly don't know. I guess it's supposed to be like a drama-esque forums somewhere. I have absolutely no idea where this is or what it is. All right. But apparently this person, this person who had this Twitter account, claiming to be an escort, is now posting up on some Kiwi Farms thread. I have all this information on Phil. Here's what we did during our time off or whatever. Whatever. Stupid shit. So apparently, there was a post. This is how stupid this is. All right. Wait till you hear. You're not going to believe how stupid this is. I can't believe how stupid this is. It's so dumb. Apparently there's a post from this person claiming that during the time when this...
Yet again, you said that you don't know what Kiwi Farms is, yet you obviously know what Kiwi Farms is, and you're quoting a post that you obviously read from the site or someone sent it to you. Huh? Like, you can't lie to us and then spin it in the next sentence. It doesn't work that way, Phil. You have to stay consistent with the lie. That's what makes the lie work. If not, you might as well just tell us the truth. Which would be easier. Just saying.
Escort was staying with me. She made me her homemade recipe of Dutch brownies. Okay? Whatever. So, the other day, I have someone who has been a longtime fan of mine, and a supporter, and a moderator as well on various different things, like my forums or my stream chat and stuff like that, over the years. Okay, and this person has helped me out tremendously. In fact, sometimes they go behind the scenes of stuff going on with these people who seek to hurt me and gets inside information. So, this is a person who I trusted over the years. They've helped me out tremendously. There's been a few times when they caught stuff going on either on my forums or in stream chat or behind the scenes with people who are trying to do nasty shit to me, and they've helped me out tremendously. All right? Somehow, this person allowed themselves to get sucked into the black hole of drama and bullshit. Okay? I don't know why, but they did. And apparently, they're actually starting to at least be skeptical of this person who's claiming they're an escort that came and visited me in early December. Now, you might even say to yourself, well, why is it a big deal if Phil had an escort come and visit in December? Well, first of all, I'm against the practice. I've said this many times before. I've never in my life been a guy who's had an issue, with women.
You have to be brain dead fucking stupid to believe that.
And didn't you let a 5-year relationship just go down the drain? Over money, essentially? Like, even if it was true that you don't have a problem getting the ladies, you sure as hell have a problem with keeping them. At least the last one, anyway. After 5 years, that should have been hook, line, and sinker quite easily. And yet, you still figured out a way to mess that up. But it's the detractor's fault, though. Yeah, you're right. My bad. I forgot about that. Let's continue.
That's 100% a lie.
You know what I mean? Like, if I want to spend time with a woman, I have whatever you want to call it, whether it's charm or whatever, I'm able to get a woman and spend time with her.
What?
Now, I'm not saying that it has to be, a significant other, someone who I spend, a long relationship with. Those things come few and far between. But I'm saying I've never had a problem with the ladies. Let's put it that way. I've never in my life paid for a woman. I never would. Now, I'm sure there's people out there who do, and everyone's going to have a different opinion, all right? For me, that's, like, ludicrous. That's actually against my personal philosophy. I would rather be alone. Seriously, I would rather be alone than paid for an escort. But the real reason why this is all controversial is because what the people...
So does that also mean you'd rather be broke than go out and get a job? I'm curious. Because, like, you say that that's against your personal philosophy. I mean, if you had thrown a religious stance behind that, I could understand that. But it's beyond, it's against your personal philosophy. Yet you get online day after day after day and beg people for money. And you see no fault in that whatsoever. You see no problem with that whatsoever. And then more importantly, you have a history of not coming through on the promises of these people who give you money. When you say that you'll do something, in turn. Where does your personal philosophy come into that there? Where does your sense of pride come into that then? Just curious.
People who hate me are trying to spin this as is Phil doesn't have a tax situation. Phil doesn't owe taxes. Phil did not get screwed over by a tax attorney in Connecticut. He's literally making it up. He owes money to an escort. All right? There you go. He's lying. So anytime that he's doing stuff to try to help himself, to help himself with the taxes, he's really raising money to pay the escort. All right, that's what the idiots are trying to spin all this as, even though it's literally 100% wrong. It's 100% fabricated.
I know you're lying.
So that being said, I announced I'm going to do this fundraising stream on Saturday. We have to go all in on Phil. We have to prove, or at least not prove because there's nothing to prove, but we have to fool people into thinking that
Phil had an escort and he's trying to pay the escort. That's what the fundraising stream is on Saturday.
Right, that way people will not pledge and will not tip him and help him because with the tax situation, maybe he'll lose his house and we'll win in the long run, right? That being said,
that's another thing too, right? Because, and I can only speak for myself, but with the people that I've watched and whatnot, whether they're big YouTube channels or they're small ones like my channel, like I've never seen any of them say, you know what, I want Phil to lose his house. I've never heard him say that. Would Phil lose his house? Eventually. He's going to lose that house. Unless he cuts deep to keep it. But he's going to probably lose that house. But I've never heard anybody come out and say, I wish that Phil loses his house. I wish for Phil to be out on the street. And keep in mind, he wouldn't be anyway. He has a condo in Connecticut that he still owns. He's not going to be destitute. He's always going to have some place to go. You know what I mean? Actually, one of the more prevailing thoughts that I was thinking about, to be perfectly honest with you, I was watching, oh my gosh, I was watching D's video. You guys know who D is. I've shouted him out on this channel before. What's up, D? And I was watching his video. In that video, and in my suggested videos, it sent me somewhere else. And this person here had a clip. Couldn't have been no more than like maybe 2 minutes, I guess, of Phil talking about what he was planning on doing with the condo when he leaves, and it was really nonchalant. There wasn't really anything you could pull out of it, but something made me think, right, that while he was gone, his parents were helping him make payments on that while he was moving into the new house with Panda. And then obviously he had like an aunt or another family member move in and whatnot, and they helped him take care of that. And then obviously he was making payments. It makes me wonder. That's all I have to really say. It makes me wonder if his parents have been helping him with that condo since he lost his job. You know what I mean? Which leads to another situation actually. When Phil when he was first laid off, right? He said he had like they gave him like a severance package and everything before, he started demonizing him and telling him, oh, they got rid of me and now look at them, they're going out of business or whatever the case may be. How did he stay on his feet for so long until he made Blip work? And then eventually made his way back to YouTube. I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure they may have given him a severance package. He worked for them, 5 years or whatever the case may be. So I'm sure they probably gave him enough to cover maybe 3 or 6 months of his expenses. The equivalent of that much salary. But who else helped him? But where else did he get the money? I would assume his parents were the ones who were flipping the bill for a while until he figured out that and was comfortable enough to make YouTube a job. So let's say 6 months to a year. Are you telling me that his parents wouldn't have stopped helping him? Even if they couldn't flip the whole bill, they might have flipped half. You know what I mean? So it's just something to think about in the grand scheme of things. You know what I mean? In the grand scheme of things.
Stupid, whatever it is account, this fake escort account on QB Farms, says that...
Because if Phil will bleed his fan base, you don't think he wouldn't bleed his own family? That's all I'm saying.
This girl baked me Dutch recipe brownies or something during our time off. Now, I didn't know any of this until this morning, okay? I wasn't aware any of this was going on because I don't follow any of this stupid shit. Mm-hmm. So apparently this post is like 2 or 3 days old. I don't know. So the other night, I I get a private message from this moderator, this friend of mine moderator, who's helped me over the years with all kinds of things. He actually, sends me PMs all the time, and I go back and forth with him about certain stuff. And he asked me, Phil, when your girlfriend visited you, and she made you brownies, what was the recipe? I'm looking for a recipe of brownies to make for myself here, or something like that. Now, here's the thing, folks. I mentioned when my girlfriend was here that we had made these cookies, all right, and I'd actually taken a picture of it and put it up on Instagram, and I'm almost positive, in fact, I'm almost 100% positive, that after that, I made a post that said, we ate all the cookies, now we have to make something else, and then I'm almost positive that here, either in stream chat or on a pre-stream, either in the physical chat typing or on a pre-stream itself, I mentioned that we had made brownies afterward, and then I actually had leftover brownies to eat all week, after my girlfriend had left, which is excellent, because I never have baked goods. Like, I don't snack on sugary stuff at all. I'll eat it if it's there, but I don't actually buy it or seek it myself.
Yeah, exactly. But as Snort Burnell says, but yet he kills, 3 to 5 energy drinks a day? Plus all that fat food? You do realize there's sugar and all that, right, Phil? Don't let that 5% juice, fool you. What? And that's another thing, too. We'll talk about this when we get into the next video. But Phil hasn't pulled out his trump card yet, ladies and gentlemen. This whole situation with the girlfriend, the taxes, the whole situation with the taxes, the girlfriend, which leads into the culmination of the fundraiser and all of this stuff, this is still small. This is still just the appetizer to what's going to come later. You guys are probably like, well, what are you talking about, GTG? I'm talking about that health situation. I'm talking about that whole, I've been having some health problems that I've been keeping to myself and whatnot. It's really nobody's business, and I'm not ready to disclose that yet. That's where things are really going to come interesting and whatnot. And eventually he'll reveal it. Now, Almighty Tevin had said in his video that he expected during the Christmas stream that he was going to unveil it. And I can see why Tevin would think that, but to be perfectly honest with you, there'd be no need for him to. At least not at that particular moment. Let me explain. To be perfectly honest with you, TBH, between the taxes, the girlfriend, and the stretch goal, Phil was pretty secure in what money that he was going to have coming in, that he didn't need to pull that out at all. It was way too early for it. He has to let that build up and whatnot. But something that Tevin did point out that I thought was interesting is, when's the last time we saw a DSP tries it from Phil? It's been a little while. You know what I mean? So it makes you wonder if he's doing that in conjunction, essentially, with this whole health problem that he may or may not have. Now, most of you would be like, well, hey, man, he's still killing energy drinks on his pre-streams, or on his streams in general, which I would assume he is, because he's still drinking his gin and tonics at night. So he didn't stop that either. So, yet again, it's something for us to kind of just, it's something for us to theorize moving forward. All right, let's continue.
So it was pretty awesome, because a week after my girlfriend left, I was still eating these delicious brownies that we had made when she was here, all right? I get this random message from someone who I trust as like a friend, a colleague, someone who's, been very loyal to me over the years and helped me out tremendously with all these different things. And he asked, Phil, what was the recipe for the brownies that you made with your girlfriend? And I didn't even in my head at once, at any moment, think that this could have anything to do with anything. I'm just thinking it's some guy I must have mentioned, the brownies or whatever on a stream. And so I was very honest with him. I responded. I said, what actually wasn't any kind of a special recipe at all. We just went to the store and we bought a box of those Ghirardelli chocolate brownies, the ones with the good high-level quality chocolate that you put into them or whatever. And we baked those. That's what we had. And then I even mentioned, but we actually, if you want a recipe, we made these really good chocolate espresso cookies. And they were really amazing. And he said, well, what was that recipe? And I said, well, I don't have it. She had it. She had the recipe, not me. But I know it was from Martha Stewart. Because Martha, I guess it was a page she had printed out from like the Martha Stewart website of recipes or whatever. I don't know. So there you go. So that was all I said in this private message to this guy, who, again, for years and years, it's been years, this guy has been a fan of mine, a viewer, and he's helped me out with stuff over the years, moderation and everything, tons of times. So that's all I said. So that's it. That's all I said. That was it. That's the end of it. So here I am, going about my own business this morning, not really paying attention to anything, quite honestly. Just kind of, okay, my usual stuff. Let's go ahead and do the normal stuff, right? Normal stuff every day that I usually do.
Oh, the camera's on.
This morning, I go inside my stream chat, and a billion people are talking about brownies. I'm like, huh? What is going on? Why is everyone mentioning brownies today? I'm super confused. Like, what does this have to do with anything? And everyone's like, Phil, you don't know the drama that's happened overnight. It's exploded exponentially. The drama. Yo, the drama. You don't even know the drama. And I'm like, oh my god. It's Friday. I'm doing a full day of streaming today. I'm looking forward to it. All I want to do is sit down here and play games, and I gotta hear about this. Now, normally, like I said, I wouldn't address it at all. But apparently this person, again, who I trusted as a moderator and someone who, again, over the years, you know, has helped me tremendously, apparently took this private message, all right, that we talked about, and
use this as evidence that I did have an escort here in early December. This is concrete evidence now. And finally, this person who had believed me all along was swayed to believe that I had an escort here in early December. Again, I didn't. I'm good at lying.
Not really.
But here you go.
Really.
It's just insanity. It's literally, it's mob mentality insanity at this point. I don't even know what else to say. It's just so...
But see, ladies and gentlemen, and like I said, we'll talk about this more when we get into the next video. You just don't get swayed that easily. You know what I'm saying? Like, the person in question here is a diehard loyalist to Phil. So he's just not going to just jump off the fan wagon. I mean, yeah, off the fan wagon. He's not going to just give up the punch just all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Like, let's say Kim's real, right? Okay, I'm sure Kim's good at what she does, given what what she charges. But are you telling me that, you know, she used her seduction through the internet to sway you to turning against Phil? Come on, let's be serious, okay? Let's be serious. Women have a lot of influences on a lot of people in some strange ways, but I very likely doubt it worked that particular way. But we'll talk about that further.
Let me put it this way.
It's just, you know what I'm saying? Loyalty just doesn't work like that. Not when you've been loyal to someone that long. He would have had to have doubts way before this whole situation. You know what I mean? He may have just been tired. He may have been fed up. But to say this one situation was enough to sway him just doesn't seem right. It makes the whole situation on Phil's end just not make a lot of sense.
Let me give you a frame of reference of why I think this is so ridiculous. Because the thing is, people have said ridiculous things about me over the years. They call me a pedophile, they call me a thief, they call me a scammer, they call me this, they call me that, racist, right? Usually, in all of these situations, these slanderous things that are said about me
are based off of a snippet of truth. A tiny...
Now, why would you say that? Why would you say that? You're saying that, oh, all these things that people have said about me, there's a bit of truth to it. Thank you, Phil, for justifying everything that anybody has ever said about you, ever. What are you doing? Seriously. Why would you admit to any of that at all? Oh my god. Oh my god. So it's so bizarre. I swear he doesn't think when he talks. And it's dangerous to be around people like that, because you never want to tell them anything because they will blurt it out. And it's dangerous for yourself. You know what I mean? You got to understand that oh my god, that's just not a way of conducting yourself. And for his age, he should know better. He really should. That's just destructive behavior, to be honest. Let's continue.
Snippet.
right? For example, my ex-girlfriend was younger than me, and some people had issue with that. And they started making up stories about me being a pedophile, and I started dating her when she was 16. Ridiculous nonsense, and unsubstantiated, completely false. But they took that one fact that she was much younger than me and spun that into the negative, right? Over the years, in my gameplay videos and streams, I've made generalized racist jokes and comedy about races. And by this way, I'm an equal opportunity jokester. I'll make fun of my own race, like Italians in particular. I've made jokes of many, many times over.
You're not Italian though. You're, if anything, if I remember correctly, you're predominantly Polish. You may have some Italian in you, but that doesn't make you Italian per se. The Polish aspect of you dominates that. And it's funny too because he hypes up the whole Italian thing a lot, and he doesn't hype up his Polish aspects of it, like of his heritage. Which, you know, if you know anything about history, you know, there's a lot of, they have a pretty rich history for the most part. You know what I mean? There's a lot there to appreciate. Yet he probably doesn't know shit about Italy or Italians in general, except for the fucking food. And he might try to portray himself as some type of Italian stallion and shit. He's watched too many Rocky movies. So, yeah, you're not full-blooded Italian. You're not FBI. So, wrestling reference there. For anybody who was following TNA early on before they got all fucked up by Dixie Carter. But yeah, you're not full-blooded Italian. So, I mean, I guess you could hold on to that snidbit, that quarter of Italian or whatever you may be, but, you know, there's more to you than that. And you shouldn't define yourself that way. Hence the reason why people call you racist, because you are very good at isolating a stereotype and running with it in the worst possible way. To the extreme. To the point where even some comedians don't even go that way. And if you do, as a comedian, you've got to be funny about it. You have to make it seem like a joke while still getting the subject matter right. And whatnot. It's a gift more than a talent. That's why not all comedians can do it. And you never figure that out. You listened to way too much Howard Stern, and you thought you could run with it. And I say that because he brings up Howard Stern a lot. And you're just not very good at it, so you should stop. It hurts you more than anything. But either way.
Years, okay? As much as I'll joke about Asians or anybody else, okay? But people will take that and say, Phil's a racist. Here's an example. Here's a joke he made about a race. He's a racist, right? So that's what they do. They take this little snippet of truth and they turn it into something incredibly slanderous and a lie, all right? In this case, seriously, in this case, there is 0% factual basis for it. It didn't happen at all. It didn't happen in any way, shape, or form. What I've told you about my girlfriend is true. This is someone who just by chance we met over the summer, completely random encounter. There was no actual, it wasn't pre-set up. It wasn't like we were actively seeking to find each other. We met each other, clicked. It was something that grew into something beautiful. Over a course of months, we started seeing each other. It grew from there. We both had similar kind of life circumstances that had happened recently, and we clicked because of that, to the point where our love grew, and it became like we're almost...
We're soulmates.
What? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm not gonna discount the concept of love in general. And you shouldn't. Because you'd be surprised where you find it, and you'd be surprised how it works out. But to say you found your soulmate after like a couple of months, nah. There's very few people who do that. Saying that we click, saying that we get along, saying that we're on the same type of wavelength, okay, that's one thing. To say you're soulmates after only seeing her a couple of times is a bit desperate, I think. And let's be perfectly honest with you. In truth, it must be her. You should just be honest and say that you're in love with her credit score. That's what That's what really makes you guys soulmates. Is what she provides for you, not for what you guys can build together. And that right there is the part that I think people miss a lot at least amongst Phil's supporters, is that he's been perfectly honest with you and told you what exactly he wants from her. He's been completely transparent with you, and yet you'll defend him tooth and nail on, it's all love and it's all love. Really? Because love is not the first or the second or the third thing that he says when he brings her up. It's all financial. It's all about what benefits him, not her. This isn't hard to kind of come to conclusions on. This is just really bad. It looks really bad. And not because I'm a detractor, it's just look at it from a normal situation. When you look at your girlfriend, when you look at your wife, would you look at your fiance or whoever your significant other is? The first thing that you see, do you see what they're bringing to your situation financially? Do you see what they're going to cook for you tonight? What's the first thing that you see when you look into that person's eyes? I would doubt that it's what they can do for you. How they make you feel is one thing, but what they can do for you is another. But see, if you're a sociopath, you don't look at it that way. Just saying.
Slap you with my e-penis.
Alright? And it sucks that I can't share those experiences with you. Alright? I can't show those. Because, sadly, people will use that personal information to hurt her. I know they will. I'm not stupid. In fact, folks, the whole thing here is there's two reasons why these people are doing this nasty stuff to me right now. Absolutely, the first reason is because, for example, they know I'm doing a fundraiser tomorrow. They don't want me to be able to raise any money. They want me to be a big failure.
Listen to that. I mean, listen to that. Oh, they're attacking me over the situation because I got a fundraiser tomorrow and they don't want me to make any money. Everything he comes out of his mouth is it has to be financially based with him. Always. Here, let's bring that back. Just so I'm not a complete asshole.
Yeah. Alright, I can't show those. Because, sadly, people will use that personal information to hurt her. I know they will. I'm not stupid. In fact, folks, the whole thing here is there's two reasons why these people are doing this nasty stuff to me right now. Absolutely, the first reason is because, for example, they know I'm doing a fundraiser tomorrow. They don't want me to be able to raise any money. They want me to be a big failure, and no one pledges to me because they think that it's going towards an escort. Alright? Even though it's not. It's a lie. It's going towards taxes. But number two, they really want information about my girlfriend because they're nosy as fuck. These people are mentally challenged. They really have an obsession in their head.
I'm not a whiny baby.
And they need to know everything about my life. And the fact that I've had things hidden from you guys for the purposes of safety for months and months, they can't fucking stand it.
Really? What have you hidden from us? Just saying. You said that you had this thing wrapped up with this girl for like 2 or 3 months. Let's say 2 months. Then you reveal her. Then you put pictures out on her. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, you might as well just given us her last 4 digits. You might as well just gone ahead and gone there with that. Why did any of that even need to be brought up? The girlfriend situation, that should have never been said. Taking pictures of her and putting that up should have never been done. Ever. If you were really trying to protect her, if she really meant something to you, if you were really trying to learn the mistakes from the last one, she should have never been known. I don't care what she says. Oh, I'm okay with it. Oh, I want to be recognized. No. That's what you should have told her. And that's what you should have done. It's not this whole situation where people are just going ahead and digging into your business. You put it all out there like breadcrumbs almost, and you expect us to follow the lines. And that's what people do. And then those people develop a story, and then people like me sit there and report on it. You make it sound like we pried into your life to find that picture. Someone hacked your hard drive to get that picture. That wasn't the case. You put it out there yourself. And you know you did that. And you know you did it for a particular reason. Stop playing the victim when you did it to yourself. I'm telling you, she's going to end up just like the last one. I guarantee it. And the sad part about it is, if the way I think it's going to play out does play out, not that I wish for that, it's going to be worse. It's going to be much worse than what happened to Panda. To be honest with you.
I used to be a guy that was 100% transparent, and I shared everything with you, and now that I got private stuff, oh my fucking god, that's it. They're going nuts, man.
By the way, I really desperately need the money to help with my tax situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, hint, save the house.
They're going nuts. They're losing their shit. How dare he? How dare he have no information that he keeps from us? We need to find everything out. So what they're hoping for right now is that on this very moment, that I'm going to reveal private information about my girlfriend to prove that she exists, to discredit this whole escort situation, so that then they can...
Pay attention to this part right here, ladies and gentlemen. What you just heard, which is at the, let's say the 1 hour and 14 minute mark. Remember this part here.
Get after her. That's what they want. They want me to give you her name. They want me to give you information about, anything personal about her, so that they can grow right after her. That's what they want. I'm not doing it, because I'm not a fucking fool.
I'm a brain dead idiot, and I need the game to be as easy as fucking possible for me to play.
Yep.
I'm not. The bottom line here is, alright, that if you believe 100% slanderous speculation with zero factual evidence,
You're a moron. Alright, you are. You are a moron. I'm sorry, you are. Why am I toxic? More toxic, more toxic.
you are gullible. You are fool. I mean, I don't know what else to say. You really need help. Because there's so much shit that goes on planet Earth that's more important than any of this shit. Honestly, like, you know what I mean? And for the fact that people are obsessing about this shit, it's insane. It's unhealthy. It's unhealthy for you. You are really in a bad way, and you need to seek help. If this is what your main focus of your...
Did you tell Panda that? Just out of curiosity. Because I don't like it. It's actually kind of sad, really. But it's amazing how you keep bringing up all these mental health issues and stuff like that. Where were you at when Panda needed that type of help? Did you tell her that stuff too when you guys got into arguments? Did you bring up the fact that she had panic attacks and whatnot in that whole situation, in that whole argument situation that caused you guys to break up? Did you sit there and tell her that she was mentally ill and all the stress and all the problems that she had was on her? Phil, tell me, who was cheating on who? Did she catch you emailing did she catch you emailing this girlfriend of yours? Or texting her? She felt a certain type of way? Or did you find Tyrone's texts first? I'm just bringing it up because anything's possible.
life is, you really have problems, okay? Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing on top of all of this, folks, which is hilarious to me anyway. As I said, the whole thing's false. This morning I've been talking with my girlfriend. Now, I didn't mention any of this stupid shit to her because actually this happened after I stopped talking to her. I was talking to her all up to the point where I was setting up my stream.
And why are we hearing this?
Okay. And, she's out and about doing stuff today. She's got a day off from work, and I'm talking to her about all the stuff she's doing and everything. And I'm like, we're making plans. If I can get past this tax hump in January, that she can maybe move in with me in 2018. And I'm thinking to myself now, as all this is going on, man, people are going to feel incredibly fucking stupid pretty soon. Because if I can get past this tax issue, and, let's say, in the first half of the year, she does move in with me, alright? She's obviously going to start showing up in videos. In fact,
Ladies and gentlemen, what did I just say? I said at the 114 mark, pay attention to what this guy was getting ready to say. That was 3 minutes ago. I was almost 4 minutes ago. And now look at him. Now people are gonna feel a certain type of way because now she's gonna be showing up in my videos. What happened to the whole protection thing? What happened about the whole thing about keeping her safe and out of the limelight to, so these people don't do anything to her? What happened to the fact of you not being stupid? Oh, that's all out the window, huh? In less than 5 minutes, no less. Good job, Phil.
There's a couple playthroughs coming up that maybe we could do co-op in. Obviously, when I do DSP Tries It, she's going to end up being a part of DSP Tries It. Okay? You know what I mean? Like, she's going to be part of it. Now, am I going to give out all her personal information? No. But you're going to see her in my videos. You're going to know she exists. You're going to know she's real.
So you're telling me that we're going to see her in your videos. We're going to know that she exists. You're telling me that people will not be able to take a screenshot of this girl and not go ahead and do a little bit of digging, which probably won't take long, and they're not going to find out who she is. They're not going to find out who her first and last name is, and then everything else attached to it. Are you a fucking moron? I don't get it. It's almost as if when she gets to his home, she'll be safe. Did you forget, Phil, that we all know where you live? Fucking A, I know where you live, and I didn't even ask. I didn't even look. and I know your address. It's... Oh my god, Phil. Phil, there are fucking pictures of your house as well as your front lawn and your car out there. Are you fucking serious, dude? Oh, man.
It's just a matter of time. You know what I mean? And it's so hilarious to me because you're going to be proven wrong. So all this stupidity that's happening is all going to be disproven. And I'm just like, how could you, in your right mind, act like this and not realize how dumb you're going to look so shortly? You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh my god, I don't know. So anyway, let's put it this way, folks. This whole thing is stupid. I actually feel bad because now apparently I've got someone who used to be someone who I trusted, who was a mod, who apparently now is out there spewing crap about Phil told me in a private message that his girlfriend made him brownies, and that's evidence that, that obviously it was the escort that made him brownies because the escort had posted 2 days earlier that she had made him Dutch recipe brownies. And now Phil said that they just made Ghirardelli brownies. But maybe that's a spin on it. Maybe she added something to the Ghirardelli brownies to make them her own personal brownies. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Oh my fucking lord. I just don't get it anymore. I have a girlfriend. I've been dating her since the summer. I want her to move in with me in 2018. We love each other. But I've been protecting her from the internet because I know what would happen if
And you're protecting her from the internet only for have her move in and then expose her to the internet. Okay. That's DSP logic for you. I get it. You're absolutely right, Phil. I was wrong. What you say makes total sense. It's absolutely you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You don't want anything to happen to her that could possibly change her mind or have anybody possibly able to get a hold of her and talk her out of it before she gets to the pig pen. You're right. I get it, Phil. You gotta wait until the fence door closes on that pig pen to where she's trapped. Dave Chappelle, I got you, bitch. I got you. You're right. You're absolutely right, Phil. I see it now. I do. I see it now. I was naive. I was naive to the whole circumstances. You have to keep her protected from herself until you get her into a position where she has nowhere else to go. Gotcha. That's why you need her to uproot herself from wherever she's at, get a job over there to where she's completely dependent on you in a place that she's only been a couple times and may or may not have any friends there. No. That wouldn't work for you, Phil. Does she have any friends there? How did you convince her to come all the way out there anyway? You asked her to come to a state that she's never been before? She has no friends or relatives there? At all? How did you convince her to do that? I guess we'll have to let that jog. We'll have to let that sit in the noggin for a little bit. We'll come back to that.
Personal information got out on the internet in particular, especially if before she were to live here with me, what would happen if her information got out on the internet would be really bad. We saw what happened previously with my previous relationships, and I'm very much wiser to the whole situation now, alright? There's a group of people who hate my guts and want to hurt me in every possible way, alright? They've completely fabricated a story based off of zero facts, but only off of things that I've publicly shared about myself and my girlfriend and the time that I spent with her. They spun it into complete nonsense, alright? And made up a completely fabricated story about an escort visiting me, and that I don't have any tax situation, but instead, I'm raising funds to pay for an escort. It's 100% false.
I did something wrong, and I'm a horrible person.
It's based off of 0%. Unlike other things that people have said negatively about me in the past, it's based off of no factual evidence whatsoever. There's nothing that they even spun. They literally just made it up out of thin air to make me look bad, and so that things like, for example, my fundraiser tomorrow would be unsuccessful. Alright? I feel sad for anyone who believes the stupidity of the stuff that people say with no factual evidence. I really do. And I feel bad, in particular, for this longtime fan of mine, moderator of mine, who sadly fell into the black hole of nonsense. I really do. I feel bad because that's terrible to live like that. It is. Just believe shit and because and then here's the other thing too. So apparently I did mention these brownies or whatever, on a stream. So again, it was public knowledge just to those who were here all the time, who listened to my pre-streams or whatever. So again, they took something that I said publicly that I revealed and turned it into something that was supposed to be exclusive info, and then trying to basically fool me with a PM about a recipe, right? It's nuts. And, you know, I'm not going to play these fucking games anymore. It's so stupid. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because the whole stream chat this morning, before I even got to start talking about games or whatever, was talking about stupidity like this. It's just...
So you decided to make almost a 40-minute long pre-stream just because, let's say, the majority of your stream chat was going on about it? So all you're going to do is feed into their own paranoia. You're feeding into their own intrigue, and you're not smart enough to realize that? Okay.
It's so dumb. Alright? It's out of control. So that being said, I'm done with it. I'm not going to address it anymore. Alright? It's stupid. It's complete stupidity. It's not grounds in any factual basis. There's no evidence of anything, because there can't be evidence of anything, because it's not true. That would be the thing. If I actually, like, if any of this were true, I'd obviously be running around desperately trying to cover information up. There's nothing to cover up. The whole thing's fake. There's no work for me I didn't even know about this until this morning when my stream chat was overflowing with fucking idiots. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know that any of this had happened because I'm not paying attention to it because it's all fake. It's all bullshit. It's so dumb.
That's the deal. That's what's going on. The latest drama nonsense. It is garbage. Ignore it. If you're intelligent, you'll ignore it. These dumb people are so dumb. You gotta just fucking tell what's what.
And stay with us here in reality on the fun gameplay streams, you know, and have fun with me every day. And, you know, if you're gullible and you want to go get sucked into the black hole of the anal sphincter of nonsense of the internet, go right ahead. I can't stop you. You know, if this is really how you want to live your life in the world of drama and speculation and rumor and nonsense that's based on no fact, go right ahead. I mean, I don't want you to. I'd rather have you have a happy, healthy life and be on streams with me and have fun. But I certainly can't stop you from doing stupid shit either. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just a streamer on the internet. I just play games for a living. I have fun, and that's all it is.
I want you to have a happy and healthy life. There's nothing I can do. I'm just a streamer online who begs for money constantly because he's going to lose his house. Because he wasn't responsible enough to take care of what he needed to do. Hence the reason why he's in the situation he's in. How does that even... No. Not at all. Oh, the lie. I gotta tell you, it's a good one. It's special. It's very special.
If people want to make shit up, then they make shit up.
Shout outs!
Framework did a 500-bit series, and the pre-streams are what they thrive on. You might want to think about changing these in 20. No, what they thrive on is hurting me. This pre-stream did not hurt me at all. They're nonsense.
Now, here's the sad part about this. I'm sure if you watched, like, Mr. Stuff's video, for example, there's a couple other people actually put up there and whatnot, and you saw his chat. These people gave him really good advice, especially as it pertains to the girlfriend situation. And he completely ignored it. Or he completely just, when it was, with his whole situation, like, oh, you guys are wrong, I know what I'm doing, yada, 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 yada. He spelled his own demise, and he doesn't know it. And the sad part about it is, she's collateral damage. We'll talk about that in the next video, but she's going to be collateral damage. And that's a shame, to be perfectly honest with you. Because, in truth, she has no idea what she's walking into. She doesn't have, not at all. She has no clue what she's stepping into. She's literally stepping into a minefield. And sadly, the person who's leading her in there is pushing her forward so he doesn't take all of the blowback. So she can take the majority of the blast so he can at least walk out unscathed. It's sad. This is really sad. Let's go.
Is what hurt me. And the fact that people, like I said, like this person who was a longtime fan and friend of mine who helped me out with stuff and was a mod, the fact that that person believes their nonsense, that's what's hurting me. Not the fact that I talked about it on pre-stream today, alright?
Oh my god, excuse me.
And a Baba Booey to you.
Just, took me $2. You're an idiot. You paid me money.
I said the problem is you have a really bad habit of giving people info. No one needs to know if you have a girlfriend. It doesn't affect your business if we know or not. Well, that's true. But at the same time, when my girlfriend was here during her time visiting in December, we wanted to at least share a little bit of what we were doing. I wanted to show, oh, look, we baked cookies. Look, we're decorating the tree. And that was the thing. People wanted a tree pictures and a tree vlog. But my girlfriend was here, so obviously I gotta admit that she exists, you know. And I'll be honest, too. My girlfriend is upset because, you know, she's like, man, I really would like to be part of your life and reveal myself and, but I can't. I know I can't because people would use that information right now to hurt me. And it sucks, you know. She wants to be a part of everything, but she can't because she knows exposing her private info will hurt her. Until eventually she gets to a point in her life where maybe she can live with me, and then it doesn't matter because we live together. It's all going to be shared info anyway. You know what I mean?
Burn in hell, Burnell. And now I'm going to burn.
What kind of logic is that, though? She has to be young. It's Panda Lee all over again, or Panda Lee 2.0. There's just no way at all that someone with some common sense would believe that at all. That you think just because you move in with him and you're theoretically sharing the same address that you're safe. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. There's no way that you... Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
In hell for the rest of eternity.
I'm sorry, Panda, that your sacrifice didn't mean anything. I'm really sorry that it didn't. I'm really, really sorry that it didn't. Oh boy.
Because of it, you can't change who you are, I guess.
Apparently not.
Wow, shout out to Planet Jeff, who just pledged $20 to my Patreon.
Thanks for the money, stupid fuck.
Wow.
We're very close, folks. If only a few more people pledge, we could do it today. We could do it on this stream. We could hit the funding goal and basically say, okay, we're in the clear for tier 1. Now let's push towards tier 2. All right.
It's greed. It's greed. Greed is massively strong. Mm-hmm. I have no fucking self-control.
Nope.
Gucci the Jacuzzi did a 50-bit cheer. This is an interesting one. It says, I've been on both sides of hating and loving what you are and what you do. That being said, anyone with common sense can tell that making accusations against someone without any concrete proof is a stupid fucking thing to do. And even if you had an escort, why do people care so much about your relationships and sex life? Quite disturbing.
Well, first of all, I'm just going to say it once again. I didn't have an escort. I've never paid
Look how sensitive he gets.
for the companionship of a woman ever in my entire life. That's ludicrous to me. I've had luck in my life with women. I have popularity. What the fuck? Are you fucking serious?
So I'm just confirming that, but, yeah, these people are fucked. I don't know what else to say. They're fucked in the head. Anyone who literally their existence on YouTube is based around trying to get private information about me and my life now that I'm not revealing a lot of stuff about it is nuts. It's just that simple. There's no other explanation. There's no other justification. They're fucking nuts. Listen to this one. Old Cock Zox did a 50-bit cheer and asked, do I still use protection?
Oh, it's gross.
I heard people stop once they hit their 30s due to lower testosterone and low pregnancy risk. That could be the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Do you actually believe that? Oh, when you're 30, you don't have to use a condom anymore. That's, wow.
Now, the funny thing is, right, is the comment that preceded this one coincides with what this guy said. The guy before him said, wow, it's gross that people are asking about your fucking sex life. And then the dude right afterwards, who's on Phil's channel or stream, decides to ask him whether... Ugh, Jesus Christ.
You are going to have a horrible mistake happen. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Snort Burnell with his greatness. We're going to go into GTG radio because I think it's fair to say we all need that. And then we'll go into Mr. Stuff's video next, and we'll see if we can add a little bit more insight to all this. See you guys shortly.
So what's been going on with the nonsense and the drama behind...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here at Mr. Stuff's DsPgaming, hashtag BrownieGate. This is supposed to be entertaining, and it should be, but the ramifications, man, the consequences that could come out of this, whether a troll or not, is still rather interesting to say the very least. All right, let's go ahead and get into it.
The scenes, let's address it.
Speaking of which, after this, GTG Radio will run for 3 songs at the very end, and I'll give final thoughts, and that'll be a wrap. Yeah.
All right, since some people are so confused now, including apparently one of my longtime moderators now has basically mind-fucked himself. But I just gotta shake my head and be like, I don't know why people listen to any of this shit. If you're any older than like 5 years old or have the maturity of anyone past like a grade school level, you would realize how stupid this shit is. It's just so dumb. Seriously. At this point, it's just so ridiculously stupid. And that's why I don't bother myself with it. I ignore it. But now, let me just give you some perspective here, all right? As you guys know, I've announced a few weeks back that I have a girlfriend. And she came and stayed with me and spent about 5 days, I want to say, in early December with me. And we had our Christmas celebration. We put up my Christmas tree. We decorated the house. I showed her putting ornaments on our Christmas tree. We went around to different stores and stuff, all kinds of different stuff. It was a very nice visit.
This is pretty funny. Let's say someone says, "How are you so stupid to fall for some trolling bullshit?" What's going on is Phil dating a Girl Scout that's right around his age range, though. He likes them young. Let's see what else we got here. I come in for my daily dose of salt. Jesus Christ. Like the people, and these are people who like donate to his chat. You know what I'm saying? Donate to his streams and shit. They all have crowns. And they shit on him heavy. Super heavy. And that's yet again goes back to the report that we'll do later on, where I'm going to talk about who actually is in control when it comes to Phil and his more generous contributors. You know what I mean? Who really has control? Because in truth, I don't think Phil is dependent on them. They're not dependent on Phil. So in turn, they really have all the power. They can dictate essentially what they want. And Phil hasn't realized that yet. And that right there in itself is destructive. But what are you going to do? You can't tell Phil nothing because Phil is so damn smart that, what do I know? I'm just another fucking detractor.
And, it sucks that she couldn't be here with me during the real Christmas because she had to work and I had to work. But, she doesn't live here in Seattle. So for her to take time off to come and spend time with me for our own kind of private Christmas celebration in early December was really nice. It was a really special thing, and it went down really well.
Interestingly enough, you said that she had visited you 2 times prior to that, so 3 altogether. Why wasn't it that she tried to plan your visit around Christmas? If you think about it, she's already seen you twice. So, why didn't she rack up maybe, some vacation days or whatever the case may be, and then use them around the holidays in particular, instead of early on? I would assume that she would have wanted to spend Christmas with you, with you guys being soulmates and all. You know what I mean? But she settled for, early December. Why would she do that? There's something to bring up, because the timing's always odd. It's always very odd with him. Very odd.
Now, here's the thing. I'm not revealing any private information about my girlfriend because look what happened with my ex. All the private information got out there. People went out and did horrendous things to her and me. They attacked us. They attacked my family. They attacked her family.
Yet again, that was your fault. You're the one who threw her into You're the one who threw her in front of everybody. You literally pushed her in front of the bus and be like, ha 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 ha, all these nerds out here who talk shit about me, look at me, I have a girlfriend. Oh, and by the way, she is not Asian, that is all. Actually, I don't know what her nationality is. Actually, I know people were saying Hispanic for a while. I don't know. That's interesting. I just never really cared. But he threw her out there. He put her in that situation. Then again, she had a very prickly type personality too. That didn't help much. I mean, if she had just stayed at fan service, if you would have considered her fan service at the time. Now she's starting to thicken up, but back in the day though, she wasn't fan service, so to speak. Then it might have been a different story, but that's neither here nor there. But he put her out there like that. You're the one who put her in the situation that she was, and your fans didn't take well to her. They just really didn't like her. You know what I mean? They didn't like the fact that you essentially brought a woman into your life. Sounds odd, but that's essentially what it seemed like. And then again, she didn't really do much to, ingratiate herself to them either. Not to say that she had to. It was just a really bad situation. It just didn't need to... He could have just brought her in gradually. He didn't have to just push her upon his fan base. So that was yet again a mistake on his own part.
They even swatted my ex-girlfriend's dad. All right.
Yet again, there's no proof of that, no evidence of that whatsoever. Which is funny how Phil makes these claims and there's really just no evidence. There's no proof. There's nothing to back any of that up. Which, yet again, one of the big things that I had pointed out recently was the whole situation with Machinima and YouTube. If it was true that they told him to delete all those videos, all those pre-streams with the fan art in it, then why didn't he? Like, if it was true that they really told him to do this, let me reword that. If it's true that they really told him to do that, why hasn't he produced any paperwork? I mean, let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. This is a man who put his friend out there. He put John out there and produced text messages and read them out with no regard whatsoever. Remember, I'm an honest guy. I have nothing to hide, and this is what John said. But yet, Machinima and YouTube fucked you, proper fucked, and yet you don't want to produce no paperwork on that. You say that you have an email from your accountant, your tax accountant back in Connecticut / tax attorney now, who told you, hey, I can take care of your needs back when you go to Washington. Don't need to sever our relationship. And you said that you coincidentally kept that email. Why haven't you read that email off? You don't have to show it, but you could at least read it off. Why haven't you done that yet? You haven't provided any type of documentation on that. And more importantly, you're willing to let the guy slide. Because like Phil said, I don't have the money to go after him and this, that, and the third. So basically you're saying is you're a bitch. And you're going to let him walk away scot-free. Interesting. And another thing that makes it even more interesting is he's supposed to be a family friend of yours. So I don't think he'd want to screw you over if he's cool with your family. That doesn't seem right. Hence the reason why this tax situation doesn't seem off anyway. Let's be honest. Phil isn't bringing in millions and millions of dollars. Not enough to where the guy is stealing from him. You're telling me that this guy has 30 years of experience, you know what I mean, in this particular field, and he would miss that oversight? Are you serious? And more importantly than that, ladies and gentlemen, he's a family friend. You pay him. Just off the family friend aspect, he would be obliged to take care of you. And you pay him on top of that. So you really telling me that a family friend, someone who's obviously known your parents for a very, very long time, screwed up that royally? Another thing, you said 30 years worth of tax experience, right? Phil was what, 35? So what did this guy do previous to him being a tax attorney? It's obviously that he's made this his particular field. He's made it this his point of study. So he would, at least to some degree, be knowledgeable about other states, or he would have the resources and the references to check. Couple of keystrokes, no problem. And yet you're saying that this guy with 30 plus years of experience was that incompetent and missed that. And then one more thing. This man followed your federal just fine. No problems. Your federal was on the up and up. And did you not say that you write stuff off on your taxes as business expenses? This controller, this game, that TV, whatever the case may, the paper that you use for Axe the King, the ink, all of those things that you write off on your taxes as business expenses. You would send that to your attorney / accountant each year to let him know, hey, here's my information, but here's also what I'm writing off. I'm hoping that you'll itemize for me. So you're telling me that this guy would miss something crucial like that? This is where, I mean, that's just me though, going off the cuff. But it's stuff like this that makes that whole tax situation seem like bullshit. And to be honest with you, that's the true underlying, that's one of the major underlying things, at least as it pertains for me, on why the Brownie situation or the BrownieGate is fascinating. Because I think it's just like peeling an onion. You find way more and more inconsistencies with his situation as you peel it, as you keep continuing to peel it. Not just about his taxes. Not just because of the girlfriend or the escort, but his taxes, which is what all this revolves around. Just my opinion, of course. DSP News.
It's fucked up. It really is fucked up.
Excuse me.
And the bottom line is, ever since I announced that I have a girlfriend, people are going absolutely nuts trying to get information about it. It's gross. All right?
It's gross that you put out information and then what? They're talking about it? I'm sorry. How's that gross? It's a little more gross than you sloshing around, burping, belching, and doing all that extra stuff on your pre-streams and on your regular streams. Like, that's not gross? Like, that's not horrendous? Like, that's not horrible? The fact that you're deteriorating in real time in front of people and you won't do anything about it? That's not gross? That's not disgusting? That's not intolerable? Okay, I'm just curious.
It's absolutely gross. Look at this idiot right here. Yeah, another troll tip. You see what I mean? It's so dumb. But thank you for the troll tip. You are a moron. It's so hilarious because this is the thing. They will leave troll tips and shit on my streams to try to get a message out, even though none of you could even read that. And they actually pay me money to do this. That's how dumb these people are. All right. But anyway, they've been desperately trying to get information about my girlfriend ever since I mentioned she existed. All right. Now, here's the thing. These are the same people who've been trying to ruin my life. They swatted me. They DDoS attacked me. They put false copyright strikes against my YouTube channels. They completely spam my email as well as my physical mail with junk mail. They send pizzas to my house. They prank call me. They fucking alert, tax agencies about me.
You were breaking the law, Phil. At the end of the day, you were breaking the law as it pertains to that tax situation. As for the pizzas thing, I very likely doubt they send you pizzas every day or even every week. I doubt that even happens to you once a month. Matter of fact, I doubt that's happened to you recently. So there you go on that. As for the swatting and the DDoS attacks, even Tevin has basically picked that apart, at least for the DDoS attack, where he said that probably didn't happen. You had said previously that you were having problems with your internet. And then all of a sudden you try to flip it into a DDoS attack. The swatting, that's subjective. Obviously, it wasn't a real swatting. Well, I wouldn't say it wasn't a real swatting, but it's obvious that you didn't get hurt. Panda didn't get hurt. You guys walked out. They walked in. What we got here? Gamer shit? Yeah, man. Lots of gamer shit. It went by pretty well, considering what happens to most people when they get swatted. Especially that whole Call of Duty situation that happened recently. We're not going to talk about that, because that's just a damn shame. So, yeah, Phil. And more importantly, as it pertains to your emailing and all that, and the prank calls, like you said, your personal information's out there. It should be expected. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying it should be expected.
Saying that I don't pay my taxes. They do it.
You don't. That's why you're in the situation you're in. Allegedly. Because I still feel like that tax thing is bullshit. In some way, shape, or form, I think there's something very wrong with it. There's something very, very wrong with it. But that's just my opinion.
every possible. These are people who earlier this year, when I was trying to get with a new partnership company after leaving Machinima, basically trolled the fuck out of the
You didn't leave Machinima. You got fired. Keep that in mind.
partnership company and attacked them, and so the partnership company dropped the offer they had for me. Literally at every moment, these people just want to ruin my life, and that's the only reason they do this. All right, so they knew that I was in a bad state because of my tax situation, because I announced it a few weeks back, and now they know that I have a girlfriend, and I'm not going to reveal any information about her because I don't want her to be hurt, like my ex-girlfriend basically was. All right, I've learned from my mistakes. So what they've done is completely fabricated a whole situation here, all right, around what's going on with, what the fuck? I just got a copyright claim against Sonic Mania Part 4, which is the chemical plant. A video clip claimed by Porta dos Fundos Portudo e Distributa Audiovisual. I'm pretty sure this is a false claim. Alright? I'm pretty sure this is a pretty false fucking claim. What the fuck? That distracted the shit out of me. I'm going to have to dispute that claim later. I will save that email for later. Alright. So anyway. Yes. Anyway. These people, alright, have been trying to discredit me. Alright? They've been trying, not discredit me, but basically.
This is funny. Hey, Phil, I want to support you, but the Mario Sunshine stuff makes me hesitant. Wow. What can you do to ensure me that it won't happen again? He can't. Even though allegedly he said that's going to happen in February now, I think he said. Sometime in February, maybe even early March. But he can't really assure you of anything.
Basically make me look bad. And first they say, oh, the tax situation isn't true. Phil's just trying to raise money. He doesn't need the money for taxes. He's lying. Don't support Phil. The usual bullshit, right? The usual lies. Then, oh, Phil doesn't really have a girlfriend. Or, first thing is Phil has a girlfriend. She must be ugly. She must be, nuts. She must be this and that. Then they move on. Basically, every possible evolution of how to hurt Phil, how to make Phil look bad or whatever. These people are sick. They've actually become this mob mentality of sickness on the internet, and they don't want to admit to themselves that they're fucked up in the head. So they group together. They circle jerk each other. They try to support each other so that they all feel good about themselves, when in reality, this really is just a mob mentality of sickness. Okay? So I talked about this a couple weeks ago, and I said, apparently, the latest rumor, which is completely unsubstantiated and based on zero facts because there are no facts, is that apparently I don't have a girlfriend. What I did is I paid for an escort to come visit me during this early week of December, and that's what it was. Phil could never get a girl. He paid for an escort. First of all right, this is so stupid. Because apparently the story, I guess what happened is there's some Twitter account out there pretending to be an escort that was with me this week or something. And not that I read it or anything, because I'm basically I guess it was a Twitter account that as soon as I came back from time off started following me on Twitter and liking every tweet that I did. And then all of a sudden this Twitter account, basically, it was obvious it was someone, it was one of these detractors who was watching all of my streams or whatever, because I would mention something. For example, I specifically remember on a pre-stream, someone said, hey, Phil, what kind of games does your girlfriend like? And I specifically referenced, I said, I know she likes Assassin's Creed. She's been a lifelong kind of fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise, and she's followed them since Assassin's Creed 1. She really likes the series. Immediately, this Twitter account posted up, I love Assassin's Creed. Here's a picture of Assassin's Creed, and I'm playing Assassin's Creed. So basically, it's someone who's just listening to what I say on streams or pre-streams, and then posts something up in response to it to make it seem like, oh, I'm really the girl or the girlfriend. Phil doesn't have a girlfriend. I'm the escort, and and you look at all these things that I'm saying that are in line with what Phil has been saying. The interesting thing here, all right, is that she always, or I say she when it's probably a guy anyway, another catfish account, one of the 1 in a million times that this has happened since I've been on YouTube. But whoever this is, obviously is obviously someone who listens or watches my stuff and then immediately responds. All right.
I like his selective memory too. The fact that this chick's been tweeting him for a while. It wasn't like this account came out of nowhere. They've been tweeting you for some time now. It's interesting how you forget stuff like that, I guess. You got to keep the lie together in your own head before you can spit it out to other people.
There you go. So they've been doing this for about 2 weeks, making shit up and everything. Eventually, I got wind of it. Someone told me, Phil, you're aware that they're like referencing you every 5 seconds now on their Twitter account. I said, fuck this. It's so stupid. All right. So I went ahead and blocked the Twitter account because I didn't want to deal with the stupid bullshit. I said, I don't even know who this person is. I don't know if they're a real person or not, if it's a catfish account or not. I don't care. I blocked it. So apparently, since I blocked the Twitter account, this person isn't having their jollies anymore. They got all pissed off that I blocked the Twitter account. So now, realizing that they're getting all this attention for pretending to be an escort that visited me, they now make up all this shit. Apparently now I owe them money, which is hilarious because, again, I have to say this. I said this like 2 weeks ago. I'll say it again. If anyone actually understands, all right, if anyone actually understands how escorts work, you don't pay after the service is rendered. That's not how it works, okay? Any high-end service, anything, you have to pay up front. It's that simple. That's how it works. There is no escort on planet Earth that will spend 5 straight days with someone and then expect like a payment plan afterward. They don't do fucking financing. They don't do easy pay. You know what I mean? Not to say that I've ever had an escort, because I haven't, but it's common fucking sense. How would you operate a business on people spending time with your escorts and then expecting them to pay overtime later? That's not how it works. That's not reality, okay? So that being said, this is the stupidest thing ever, and the only people who would believe this story are gullible idiots. I'm sorry.
So you're telling me off your interesting insight on how the payment plans of escorts and prostitutes work, they should take that as the gospel and move on it. Okay. You do any research on that too? Like when you were researching the surgery to, Phil. Did that fall into the category too? It's very bizarre. It's just so bizarre.
You believe this story with literally zero factual evidence of anything. There hasn't been a single piece of evidence whatsoever given about any of this.
And yet you keep breathing life into it. You keep giving it relevancy. Just let it go. Just let it go. And you can't. Because every pre-stream, every stream, someone throws that at you and you go into this mini rant about it. And it doesn't, if it's not real, then it shouldn't bother you. So just leave it alone. Just ignore it. Actually, just ignore it. It's no big deal. And if people want to give you troll tips over it or whatnot, what's the problem, man? Stick to the slogan. Thanks for the money, you stupid fucks. Thanks for the money, dummies. Thanks for the views, you worthless humans. These are all your catchphrases. So just take it and move with it. Instead, you keep breathing life into it. You keep inflating it. And then, yet again, that comes back to this whole situation with his girlfriend. If she don't end up showing up, if that doesn't end up happening, if you come up with whatever little bullshit excuse on why all of a sudden she's not moving in with you or whatever the case may be, and you have to backtrack, you're going to have to do some explaining. And it better be good. It better be good. But sadly, though, it doesn't really matter because, the usual suspects will believe it anyway.
That shows that any of it is real. You are a moron. You are looking for drama. You're a drama queen. For some reason, you love this shit. Okay? And it's your own fault. It's your own fault that you've either been duped or you've been fooled or whatever you're saying. If you actually believe any of this, it's your fault. There's no truth to any of it whatsoever. All right? So, that's going on. All right? And, I talked about it. And, I talked about this, I think it was 2 weeks ago on a pre-stream, and I explained all this, all right? And I was like, whatever, it's in the past, I'm not going to address it anymore, there's no reason. They're just going to keep making shit up, all right? They're just going to keep making shit up over and over and over. And it's, you know what I mean? It's just going to balloon and let the idiots believe what they want, and I'm going to be here on my streams every day having fun, playing games. And by the way, it hasn't negatively affected anything if you guys aren't aware. Everything's been good. People have been showing up for streams and participating, and people have helped me out tremendously in the past couple weeks with contributions towards the tax situation and everything. So everything's been good. All right. So then, this particular week coming up, I mentioned a couple days ago that I was going to be doing a fundraising stream on Saturday because this is kind of like the last push to try to get people to pledge to my Patreon so we can hit the monthly goal for this month and so that we can do these Metal Gear Solid events in January.
And yet again, you still didn't hit it. You had to divert money from one place to another for a failed playthrough that no one cares about. He could have done the Mario Sun... And apparently he's said that he's actually announced when he's going to do Mario Sunshine now. He could have done that, and he could have had a major cash grab with that. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. He's in the exact same situation as he's in with Nintendo. He can't monetize... Well, allegedly, he can't monetize his videos, and he's not going to get anything out of it. You know what I mean? So now he needs people to come to his streams and contribute positively there. Just like you want them to do with Mario Sunshine. This playthrough of Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 helps nobody. At the end of the day. It's him trying to dictate to other people, hey, I'm not so bad at this game, that's why we're going to play this. But he doesn't want to play it on the hard difficulty, which makes sense. He's just going to embarrass himself. So it is what it is with that, but in truth, nobody wants to see it. Everybody's disinterested with it. No one cares. That's why you didn't make the stretch goal. Now, I think allegedly he made 13 and some change, so he hit the initial goal and whatnot, but I'm sure that was people just wanting to be acknowledged on his streams through that new Patreon plugin that he has. But in truth, no one cares about this goal. You know what I mean? Or no one cares about it to the extent that he wants people to believe they did. Yeah, he got $1,300 for it. It's nothing to laugh about. It's nothing to sneeze at. But really, it was because he was constantly begging for them to be like, hey, I really need this money to save my house. More over than wanting to see the playthrough. The playthrough is shit, from what I'm hearing. Actually, up to this particular point, he's what? At the time I'm recording this, he's at least 2 days in. And he's still begging for money. The positivity on his streams, he needs it to ramp up a little more. Because now, since he can't monetize the videos, which I'm sure he already knew, now he needs them to contribute even more now. Yet again, it's greed for the sake of being greedy. And there's no one to regulate him. He can't regulate himself. And there's nobody else there to regulate him. There's no one else to put him into perspective and be like, hey, you're going too far with this. Hey, you're pushing us too far. And that's why when it rains, it pours. When it all falls apart, it's all going to fall apart. It's neither here nor there.
All right. I really need the support right now because I need these funds by the end of January to pay what this impending tax bill is. So I'm trying to motivate people to pledge to my Patreon. In particular, that's really what this event is for, to get people to pledge. All right. So that being said, all right, I announced this event. Immediately, of course. Oh, God, Phil's going to do a fundraiser. We don't want Phil to be successful. We don't want Phil to be able to pay his taxes. We want him to lose his house and all this. So let's see what's the next possible thing we can fucking do here. All right, let's see what we can do. So again, trying to make shit up. I saw things over the past couple of days. They really went in like hardcore. And I guess now they're posting on fucking things like, I don't even know. First of all, I don't even know what Kiwi Farms is. I'm just going to bring that up. I don't even know what it is. I honestly don't know. I guess it's supposed to be like a drama-esque forums somewhere. I have absolutely no idea where this is or what it is.
Don't let him lie to you though. He knows what it is. Because a couple of his main gunners are on there. KG's on there. Brightside's on there. There's a few guys that are in and out of there quite a bit. You know what I mean? Especially during the whole the SNK situation, as we guys all remember. Back in 2017, they were over there in force, especially Brightside. He was trying, what was that chick's name? She was the one who was, super informative about, Lavaria and whatever. It was her idea. She was the one who picked the name and all that. He was over there, and he had put up a video actually exposing the current MCN that she was with and how they were a scam and so on and so forth. I never watched the video, but I heard other people talking about it. And he had, I don't know what he did, but he came up with all this information to try to discredit her. And most people say, if you really look at it, there's some merit to it. but because it's Brightside Viking, no one gave a shit and they just cast him aside. So there you go with that. So he's very familiar with that form. Let's not lie. Let's not lie about that.
All right.
I'm about to say that it's way more entertaining and informative than his is, and whatnot. And it's just it's a fun time. You guys should really go over there and look. And like I said, they got forums on everybody. I heard the Jake Paul situation. Not Jake Paul. Sorry, Logan Paul. Is that his name? I think his name is Logan Paul, the one who pulled that situation in Japan recently. I heard that over there was popping off pretty serious. I say YouTube is turning into the motherfucking Wild West. If you don't think so, you know, for anybody who's a DSP, like, if you're someone who just comes to these videos, not just mine, any video, and you're like, man, why you guys waste your time with stuff like this? It's a waste of time, so on and so forth. Look at what some of the bigger YouTubers are doing right now. It's come down to the point. This is off subject right now, but we're at the point now where we're sitting there recording dead bodies and making jokes about suicide. Like, and YouTube's cool with that, and you can't say YouTube isn't because they didn't take the video down. Logan did, or his group, or whatever. They took the video down. It wasn't YouTube. So it is what it is. YouTube's just become a different type of situation. And interestingly enough, that correlates a little bit with what Twitch is going into. I was watching another YouTube video by... God damn it, I'm going to start writing people's names down now because I just not remembering. I watch all kinds of random shit. But I was watching someone who was saying that he was primarily doing gameplay streams and shit. And he used to talk about real life, not his life in particular. He was smart. He just talked about stuff in the news and gave his opinion on it. And he said he blew up. He said he had, not literally, of course, but he said that he had maybe, I think he said he had 1,200 subscribers and whatnot, and he still wasn't partnered yet, which is interesting in its own right. He said that he tried this stream where he would just go through the news of different states, just whatever randomly that came up, and he would talk about it, just give his opinion or whatever. And he said he blew up to like 10,000 by the end of the month. Got partnered, got sponsored, all that good shit. And now that's all he does. Occasionally he'll have, like gameplay in the background, but most of it's just pre-recorded. Other than that, it's just him talking about the news. In real life shit is what's really, is becoming a much bigger part of Twitch these days and whatnot. Shit, in some ways, YouTube also, to a degree, and whatnot. Which is why people, believe it or not, say that Phil should just have his in real life streams. You know what I mean? Just cut the whole pre-stream shit out and just talk about whatever for like an hour or two. He'd probably draw way more attention than his actual gameplay streams. But Phil won't do it. Or maybe Phil never thought about it. We'll see. He'd draw much more attention that way because it guarantees you he's going to say something stupid, which is what everybody wants anyway. But that's neither here nor there. If he tried it one day a week, he'd be surprised by it. But Phil, he likes to, if he does anything and he sees that it's remotely successful, he'll go overboard. But it's neither here nor there. But that's kind of what streaming is starting to slowly but surely become.
But apparently this person, this person who had this Twitter account, claiming to be an escort, is now posting up on some Kiwi Farms thread, I have all this information on Phil, here's what we did during our time off, or whatever, whatever. Stupid shit. So apparently, there was a post, this is how stupid this is, alright? Wait till you hear, you're not going to believe how stupid this is, because I can't believe how stupid this is. It's so dumb. Apparently there's a post from this person claiming that during the time when this escort was staying with me, she made me her homemade recipe of Dutch brownies. Okay. Whatever. So.
Oh boy.
The other day.
And here's the thing, though, too. He kind of ends up backing himself into a corner with this a little bit. He uses this story about. He uses the whole claim is that Kimberly, the escort, made him brownies while she was there and whatnot. because obviously she wasn't being entertained in any other way besides having to bake for them. I guess nothing else interesting was going on. I mean, hey, even if you pay for the girlfriend experience, it doesn't mean she has to enjoy it. But either way, as that situation was going on and whatnot, he uses this whole situation with his girlfriend to try to justify in thinking that it proves his case that his girlfriend was really there. And the whole thing with the escort was a lie. Even though the whole Brownie accusations actually predates, you know what I mean? It predates his own claims by, I'm going to say a couple days. Could be a week, but we'll say a couple days, just to be on the safe side, because I don't have specifications in my notes in front of me. Because I didn't take any. So he uses this excuse to kind of justify that it's a troll and that he really has a girlfriend. But in truth, it actually gives more claim to a degree. It gives more claim, more credibility to Kimberly than to himself. Yet again, it's his history kind of coming back on him. You know what I mean? You can't trust anything that he says. Even though it sounds like the most off-the-wall funny shit. Which it should be. This should be entertaining. It should be funny. At the same time, because of his history and his credibility, it gives it an iota of truth. You know what I mean? It gives it an iota, it gives it a pinch. You know what I mean? A pinch of substance. And then the fact that he has to give it attention. You know what I mean? He's a fucking cuck as it pertains to drama. And he has to be in the middle of everything. So for someone who doesn't understand why all these people are obsessed with him and always microanalyzing everything I say, and I don't understand, man. I'm just trying to play games and have fun and shit and beg you guys for money to fix my mistakes because I'm a fucking idiot. For all of that, why are you addressing this? Why is this important enough that you needed to make a fucking 40-minute stream on it? Now, don't admit me, I'm a dumbass. I'm gonna make a potential 3-hour video out of this dumb shit because it's fucking hilarious. But at the same time, though, too, because there are some real implications of this that he doesn't see, which I guess we shouldn't expect him to. But why, yet again, does he keep breathing life into this? And the more he talks, the more he buries himself. You gotta understand that. He buries himself when he talks about stuff like this. Just leave it alone. But he can't. But he can't. He has to. But then that's even more interesting, right? Because think about I don't want to call him by his nickname. Waifu Destroyer Matt. Okay, let's talk about him for a minute. And the point that he made and he brought up, and Phil went at him for about, I don't know, 10 minutes. We'll say 10 minutes and whatnot. He could have let that go too. He could have completely ignored that. And he didn't. Actually, he took joy in breaking that guy down. Now, the fact that the guy comes back and enjoys the punishment or whatever, hey, that's on him. But yet again, another example of a situation he could have ignored and he chose not to because he felt like he had the high ground. He has no ground to stand on here. He can either ignore it or be like, it's not true, and this is how I can prove that it's not true. But he can't do that. He can't. Because he's saying that he doesn't want to put his girlfriend out there and he doesn't want to put out any personal information. But yet, the more that this situation goes on from the troll aspect of it, let's say if it's a troll, the more it backs him into a corner. To where now he's getting to the point where he's getting desperate to where, shit, I might have to put her out there and whatnot to stay face. But then if it ends up being, if he's lying, you know what I mean? If he's lying and that he really paid for this, you know, he really paid for these services, then it just makes him look like a fucking idiot. And he's going to have an even harder time getting money out of these people. Not everybody, but the majority of them. He's caught himself in a situation that he doesn't even realize yet. The trap is set. No pun intended. The trap is set. And it's closing in on him. And he just doesn't realize it yet. And in truth, if this is a troll, that's what makes this whole thing interesting. It makes it absolutely fascinating. Because you can use this whole situation to force him to expose his girlfriend. And that's just my opinion, of course. But it's absolutely fascinating if that's how it ends up playing out. And Phil doesn't see it yet. Phil's trying so hard to stay face that he doesn't realize that the noose is tightening. And it's tightening fast. And the sad part about it is, the noose isn't necessarily tightening on him. It's tightening on the girlfriend, if she really exists. Just, wow. DSP News.
Yeah, what was the other day? Was it the other day or was it yesterday? I don't even remember. Actually, I can probably confirm this. Because I don't even know what's today. What is today's date? I don't even know. The 29th. So, I think it was it last night? It was last, no, yesterday. It was yesterday. So it was actually the day before. All right. It wasn't last night, but the night before. All right. I have someone who has been a longtime fan of mine and a supporter and a moderator as well on various different things like my forums or my stream chat and stuff like that over the years. Okay. And this person has helped me out tremendously. In fact, sometimes they go behind the scenes of stuff going on with these people who seek to hurt me and gets inside information. Okay. Boy, this is the same person, by the way, who's been tipping me $2 constantly. This person has also been leaving insulting tips on my streams recently a lot. They're an idiot. They keep paying me money. I just don't get it. You keep paying me money to say stupid shit. Can anyone figure this out? This person keeps paying me money. I don't understand. I'm so confused. Anyway, let's keep going. So, this is a person who I trusted over the years. They've helped me out tremendously. There's been a few times when they caught stuff going on either on my forums or in stream chat or behind the scenes with people who were trying to do nasty shit to me, and they've helped me out tremendously. All right? Somehow, this person allowed themselves to get sucked into the black hole of drama and bullshit. Okay? I don't know why, but they did. And apparently they're actually starting to at least be skeptical of this person who's claiming they're an escort that came and visited me in early December. Now, you might even say to yourself, well, why is it a big deal if Phil had an escort come and visit in December? Well, first of all, I'm against the practice. I've said this many times before. I've never in my life been a guy who's had an issue, with women. You know what I mean? Like, if I want to spend time with a woman.
Now, do you hear the hesitation when he says that? Leading up to it, he had, or at least you could interpret it as confidence. But once he gets to that actual point itself about, my experiences, there's a bunch of hesitation. Like, he doesn't know what the next word is. And the thing is when you listen to Phil talk, this is just something that I picked up. When he lies and whatnot, he starts to speed up what he's saying. And the reason why is because he's actually weaving the lie in his head and whatnot. And he's trying to, and it's kind of like a common practice that people start to speed up their speech. So if they end up letting it slip, they can cover it on the quick. It happens actually quite a bit. He does that a lot, especially if he's blatantly lying, like, and whatnot. You'll hear him do that. You'll hear himself speed himself up and he gets overly excited. And then he has to slow himself down. Hence the reason why you hear him taking all those sips, as Almighty Tevin likes to say. When he starts taking those sips, and he does that to try and calm himself down. When he is not confident in what he's about to say, especially as it pertains to something about himself, when it comes to something about, like, his family or his friends or his interactions with other people, you start to get the stuttering aspect. You start to get the hesitation aspect of him, where he doesn't know what to say, and he's not trying to make a fool of himself. So it's not like he's actually lying per se. He's not trying to embarrass himself. So he's trying to catch himself before he does it. It's a absolutely fascinating behavior about him. And to be perfectly honest with you, it's probably the most consistent thing about him, which is odd, like how he developed that. And more importantly, how he hasn't shaken it. Because it's kind of something that a kid does, to be honest. And he never broke the habit. So, I don't know if that's something that his parents just allowed him to do and he just kept doing it. Whatever the case may be.
I have whatever you want to call it, whether it's charm or whatever, I'm able to get a woman and spend time with her. Now, I'm not saying that it has to be, significant other, someone who I spend, a long relationship with. Those things come few and far between. But I'm saying I've never had a problem with the ladies. Let's put it that way. I've never in my life paid for a woman. I never would. Now, I'm sure there's people out there who do, and everyone's going to have a different opinion, all right? For me, that's like ludicrous. That's actually against my personal philosophy. I would rather be alone. Seriously, I would rather be alone than pay for an escort. But the real reason why this is all controversial is because what the people who hate me are trying to spin this as is Phil doesn't have a tax situation. Phil doesn't owe taxes. Phil did not get screwed over by a tax attorney in Connecticut. He's literally making it up. He owes money to an escort. All right? There you go. He's lying. So any time that he's doing stuff to try to help himself, to help here himself with the taxes, he's really raising money to pay the escort. All right, that's what this.
Well, let's be perfectly honest with you. The due date's coming up on that. The due date is the 12th. I think she might have extended it to the 13th. If he doesn't, if he don't pay this bread up, then she's gonna let the hammer out on him, and he owes her $2,000. Interestingly enough, with the fundraising situation right before it, I should say, he had said that he, now keep in mind, we're talking about from the time he unveiled his tax situation and the girlfriend up until right before his fundraiser started, he said that he's acquired about $2,000 that can actually go to his tax situation. Now, I know most of you are like, wait a second, that doesn't make no sense at all. He's made way more than $2,000. You're right. And when he gave the excuses on why, why he, what happened to the money and whatnot, he said, oh, it had to go to this, oh, I had to pay this, oh, I had to pay that. These were things that, now, as it pertains to his taxes, he said he had to pay the tax attorney, he had to do this, he had to do that, yet you didn't say anything about making down payments or anything like that. You've made way more than $2,000 that can go to your tax situation. But it's funny how that $2,000 is exactly what he owes to Kimberly. And she had said that before he even talked about how much he had made out. And really? Connecticut has a huge prostitution center in the Northeast? Really? Is that true? Huh, I didn't know that. I mean, I guess there's no reason why I would, but really? Interesting. Anyway, so there you go. Like I said, the money thing doesn't add up either. He's made quite a bit of bread. Quite a bit of money. So the fact that he can only say, I have $2,000 that can go towards all this is just silly in its own right. But what are you going to do?
The idiots are trying to spin all this as. Even though it's literally 100% wrong. It's 100% fabricated. So, that being said, I announced I'm going to do this fundraising stream on Saturday. We have to go all in on Phil. We have to prove, or at least, not prove because there's nothing to prove, but we have to fool people into thinking that Phil had an escort and he's trying to pay the escort. And that's what the fundraising stream is on Saturday, right? That way people will not pledge and will not tip him and help him because with the tax situation, maybe he'll lose his house and we'll win in the long run, right? There you go. So that being said, all right, that this stupid, whatever it is account, this fake escort account on Kiwi Farms says that this girl baked me Dutch recipe brownies or something during our time off. Now, I didn't know any of this until this morning, okay? I wasn't aware any of this was going on because I don't follow any of this stupid shit. So apparently this post is like 2 or 3 days old. I don't know.
So wait a second, so who clued you in on all this? You said that this was a supporter of yours, a mod, who, who's had your back and who has come through for you quite a few times. You're saying that all this happened in your chat is what alerted you to this. Where'd you get all this background information from if you didn't get it from that mod who used to keep you, up to date on stuff? Are you saying that you had another mod who did it too? Are you saying you had multiple mods that you did it? You're talking about there's layers to this situation as it pertains to information and who gives you what? How is it that you were able to acquire all this information in such a short amount of time and whatnot to talk about it with some detail in the mix? If the main gunner who was giving you this information is on the other side of the fence right now, Did no one ever think about calling him out on that? Because there's some pretty decent details in this. And yeah, you could say, oh, well, he pulled some of it from the chat. That's true. He didn't pull all of it, though. Not with this much detail. Not without actually going to the forums itself. Not without actually reading up on this. Don't be wrong, it could be done in 10, 15 minutes. But who was the one that actually sent him to all this? That's all I'm saying.
So the other night, I get a private message from this moderator, this friend of mine moderator, who's helped me over the years with all kinds of things. He actually, sends me PMs all the time. And
another thing, too, I want to add is why hasn't he ousted him already? Why isn't it that, at least on this pre-stream, why isn't it that he was like, hey, this is who it was? He's protecting that person. He's still protecting him. But why? Why would you do that when he's gone against your orders? He's gone against your wishes, and he has questioned you. You're his Snort and savior. You know what I mean? So why are you still protecting him? Why are you? It's almost like it's all according to plan to a degree, and you're just flushing the story out because it's some drama to drum up on your pre-stream. But why aren't you outing the guy? You've outed others for much smaller shit than that. You know what I mean? You outed somebody just because they were on a pre-stream, or no, sorry, they were on a video of a detractor. You've done that to a couple of people actually, but yet this person right here is actually taken personal information that was supposed to be between the two of you and shared it with the enemies, and yet, excuse me, you haven't outed them yet. You haven't told us well, at least at this time, you didn't say that person's name. Why are you protecting him at this point, Phil? Granted, we all know who it is, but why are you still protecting him? Just wondering.
I go back and forth with him about certain stuff. And he asked me, Phil, when your girlfriend visited you and she made you brownies, what was the recipe? I'm looking for a recipe of brownies to make for myself here or something like that. Now, here's the thing, folks. I had mentioned when my girlfriend was here that we had made these cookies. All right, and I'd actually taken a picture of it and put it up on Instagram. And I'm almost positive, in fact, I'm almost 100% positive that after that, I made a post that said, we ate all the cookies, now we have to make something else. And then I'm almost positive that here, either in stream chat or on a pre-stream, either in the physical chat typing or on a pre-stream itself, I had mentioned that we had made brownies afterward, and that I would actually had leftover brownies to eat all week, after my girlfriend had left, which is excellent because I never have baked goods. Like, I don't snack on sugary stuff at all. I'll eat it if it's there, but I don't actually buy it or seek it myself. So it was pretty awesome because a week after my girlfriend left, I was still eating these delicious brownies that we had made when she was here, all right? So, I get this random message from someone who I trust as like a friend, a colleague, someone who's, been very loyal to me over the years and helped me out tremendously with all these different things. And he asked, Phil, what was the recipe for the brownies that you made with your girlfriend? And I didn't even in my head at once, at any moment, think that this could have anything to do with anything. I'm just thinking it's some guy I must have mentioned, the brownies or whatever on a stream. And so I was very honest with him. I responded. I said, what actually wasn't any kind of a special recipe at all. We just went to the store and we bought a box of those Ghirardelli chocolate brownies, the ones with the good high level quality chocolate that you put into them or whatever. And we baked those. That's what we had. And then I even mentioned, but we actually, if you want a recipe, we made these really good chocolate espresso cookies. And they were really amazing. And he said, oh, well, what was that recipe? And I said, well, I don't have it. She had it. She had the recipe, not me. But I know it was from Martha Stewart. Because Martha, I guess it was a page she had printed out from like the Martha Stewart website of recipes or whatever. I don't know. So there you go. So that was all I said in this private message to this guy who, again, for years and years, it's been years, this guy has been a fan of mine, a viewer, and he's helped me with out with stuff over the years, moderation and everything, tons of times. So that's all I said. So that's it. That's all I said. That was it. That's the end of it. So here I am, going about my own business.
But the interesting thing is that, yet again, you confirmed the escort story when you did that. But he doesn't see it, though. In his own world, he doesn't see it. And that's like I said, it's one of the things that hurts him more than anything. Like, he doesn't know when to stop talking and whatnot, and it comes from a need to be acknowledged in truth. I think more than anything. You know what I mean? He's lived his life. The way he lives his life is what he wants. He wants to live his life the way he's doing it. Where he's kind of in the limelight, he's in the center of attention. You know what I mean? And it's funny how he still holds on to the whole SOK situation and them in general because he needs them. Someone has said in my comment section, for example, that if Phil was just a YouTuber / streamer who was just shit at games and raged every once in a while, he would never get the attention that he has now. It's because of how he mistreats people. It's how he conducts himself is why people go at him. You don't think Phil's not aware? And he's right, by the way. But you don't think Phil's not aware of that? Like I said, Phil does this on purpose and whatnot. He just doesn't like the backlash that comes from it. But he certainly loves doing it. The thing is he has to come to the realization when's enough going to be enough. You know what I mean? Do you want to live like this forever? You know what I mean? Detractors come and go. You know what I'm saying? And especially in the detractor community now, you've got some real up-and-comers, you know what I mean, who are putting out some great work. You know, D being one of them. You've got some, you know, as well as some others, who are putting out some really great work right now. And they're inspiring others to do the same. This isn't going to stop unless Phil stops. And which means that Phil needs to change. But he can't. Because he's always in the right. And no one else is. And, you know, he's never in the wrong. Everybody else is. In his world, everybody else is at fault for his shortcomings. It's never him. And it's an amazing level of delusion that has to be dangerous. It has to be dangerous. You know what I mean? To live like that. But then again, that's why he barely goes anywhere. You know what I mean? That's why he doesn't really interact with anybody, you know, in real life. You know what I mean? Because people can see through it. I don't know. Whatever.
This morning, you know, not really paying attention to anything, quite honestly. Just kind of, you know, okay, my usual stuff. Let's go ahead and do the normal stuff, right? Normal stuff every day that I usually do. And this morning, I go inside my stream chat, and a million people are talking about brownies. I'm like, huh? What is going on? Why is everyone mentioning brownies today? I'm super confused. Like, what does this have to do with anything? And everyone's like, Phil, you don't know the drama that's happened overnight. It's exploded exponentially. The drama. Yo, the drama. You don't even know the drama. And I'm like, oh my God. It's Friday. I'm doing a full day of streaming today. I'm looking forward to it. All I want to do is sit down here and play games, and I got to hear about this. Now, normally, like I said, I wouldn't address it at all. But apparently this person, again, who I trusted as a moderator and someone who, again, over the years, you know, has helped me tremendously, apparently took this private message, all right, that we had talked about and used this as evidence that I did have an escort here in early December. This is concrete evidence now. And finally, this person who had believed me all along was swayed to believe that I had an escort here in early December. Again, I didn't. But here you go. It's just insanity. It's literal. It's mob mentality insanity at this point. I don't even know what else to say. It's just so... let me put it this way. Let me give you a frame of reference of why I think this is so ridiculous. Because the thing is, people have said ridiculous things about me over the years. They call me a pedophile. They call me a thief. They call me a scammer. They call me this. They call me that. Racist, right? Usually, in all of these situations, these slanderous things that are said about me are based off of a snippet of truth. A tiny snippet, right? For example, my ex-girlfriend was younger than me. And some people had issue with that. And they started making up stories about me being a pedophile, and I started dating her when she was 16.
I don't know. I think the pedo thing might be just a crack and laugh more than anything else. But it does bring up an interesting aspect of not about how old she was when they started dating. It's really about how old was she when they started talking. That's what one of the key things that people want to bring up. And it's something that he continuously shies away from, which doesn't help his cause. Doesn't help his cause at all.
And ridiculous nonsense and unsubstantiated, completely false. But they took that one fact that she was much younger than me and spun that into the negative, right? Over the years, in my gameplay videos and streams, I've made generalized racist jokes and comedy about races. And by the way, I'm an equal opportunity jokester. I'll make fun of my own race, like Italians in particular. I've made jokes of many, many times over the years, okay? Just as much as I'll joke about Asians or anybody else, okay?
Good point, though, too. Like, Italians aren't a race, but whatever. He's a racist because, to be honest with you, and, I mean, yet again, he's kind of someone who... It kind of comes back to the more interesting aspect of... It comes back to the more interesting aspect of who do you blame for this type of frame of mind? Is it kind of like, do you blame his parents? Do you blame society? You know, one of the two. I mean, it's kind of hard to say what causes someone to do what he does. But as it pertains to racism in general, it's something that he's comfortable with because he doesn't like what's not familiar to him. And I can almost prove that because look at the aspects of his life as it pertains to YouTube itself, for example, like direct capture. He shied away from it for years when he had the money and the means to do it. There might have been a slight learning curve, but couldn't have been anything that he couldn't handle. He's doing it now, but he never wants to do it. There's other aspects of him that's like that too. He shies away from certain shit like that. Now, is he a blatant, card-carrying KKK, what I'm saying, member or anything? No, not at all. But at the same time, too, he's someone who feels a level of superiority over everybody, essentially. So why wouldn't skin color be an aspect of that? Like, for example, Mr. Stuff's put up a video where he talks about racism a little bit, and he talks about like NWA and rap music or whatever, and he's like, oh well, yeah, I never heard about that until the neighborhood I was living in became more of a low income neighborhood, and a lot more black showed up. I'll be perfectly honest with you, the first rap song I ever heard from that I ever heard, to be perfectly honest with you, or at least the people who introduced me to rap and whatnot, were Hispanics more than anything. They were in Asians. They were the ones who really put me down on it before anything else. So you can't just go ahead and link to that. You know what I mean? Like rap is a bit universal. Like there's no one that can't get into rap. You know what I mean? It's not linked to a color. But his frame of mind, the way he thinks about it, is kind of like that old guard type nonsense where you could tell he may have not interacted with a lot of African Americans back in his day. At least not at first. So he just came up with these preconceived notions of it and ran with it and whatnot. And to be perfectly honest with you, could you see him in a room with any nationality, to be honest with you, and him be comfortable with it? Not necessarily. And that's why the Blip TV thing, a lot of the commentaries he did of games that have like an Asian type theme, they really express who he is because that is who he is. And he can deny it to you all he wants, but at the same time, he continues to go back to it. It's in his nature. He knows nothing else but that and whatnot. I'm not trying to get political or anything like that. Excuse me. It is what it is, and you take it for what it is. But, and through, he believes that he's superior than others. Now, is that something that was instilled in him by his parents? I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I don't care, to be honest with you, and none of us should, really. But he is a racist. Like I said, is he a card-carrying neo-Nazi or anything like that? Nah, not at all. But he is a racist, though. It's just in his nature. It is what it is, and he knows nothing else. And he has to try to regulate himself when it comes to certain situations, so he doesn't let that out. But trust me, if he could do it without any recourse, if Blip TV never happened, let's say this, for example. Or let's say, let me rephrase that. If Blip TV didn't work out the way it did, meaning that instead of them letting him go immediately, you know what I mean, and whatnot, and they were like, all right, what you did was definitely against our term of service. It was definitely wrong, but we'll let you slide. You know what I mean? Just don't let it happen again. All that does is, all that would tell him in his own head is like, okay, I can do it, I just got to be a little bit more clever about it. Or I have to say it in a way where people will be on board with it. Yeah, that's what I have to do. Instead, we jump back to reality and what really happened, and he immediately blames all these people like, oh, these guys sent emails to Blip and they got me kicked off, and you know, Blip didn't give me an opportunity. They should have been able to sit down with me. They should have given me a chance. They could have at least seen the situation from my point of view, and so on and so forth. And I was just trying to, add a bit more flair and a bit more edginess to my commentary. He constantly comes up with these excuses that cover his shortcomings and whatnot. And it's in his nature. He can't stop it. So why wouldn't he be racist if you think about that? It is what it is. It's just, it falls in line. And so it just falls into that type of behavior. That's all I'm saying.
But people will take that and say, Phil's a racist. Here's an example. Here's a joke he made about a race. He's a racist, right? So that's what they do. They take this little snippet of truth and they turn it into something incredibly slanderous and a lie, all right? In this case, seriously, in this case, there is 0% factual basis for it. It didn't happen at all. It didn't happen in any way.
And if you're someone who's ever been in Phil's chat at any given time and whatnot, you've seen that. You've seen what he lets slide. You've seen what his mods let slide. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Shape or form. What I have told you about my girlfriend is true. This is someone who just by chance we met over the summer. Completely random encounter. There was no actual, it wasn't pre-set up. It wasn't like we were actively seeking to find each other. We met each other, clicked. It was something that grew into something beautiful. Over a course of months, we started seeing each other. It grew from there. We both had similar kind of life circumstances that had happened recently, and we clicked because of that, to the point where our love grew, and it became like we're soulmates, all right? And it sucks that I can't share those experiences with you, all right? I can't show those because, sadly, people will use that personal information to hurt her. I know they will. I'm not stupid. In fact, folks, the whole thing here is there's two reasons why these people are doing this nasty stuff to me right now. Absolutely, the first reason is because, for example, they know I'm doing a fundraiser tomorrow. They don't want me to be able to raise any money. They want me to be a big failure, and no one pledges to me because they think that it's...
Now listen to that. They're doing this because I got a fundraiser tomorrow, and they don't want me to make me... They don't... sorry. I'm doing a fundraiser tomorrow. They don't want me to make any money. They want me to be a big failure. That might, in truth, be how he looks at himself. That might be his general outlook, to be honest with you. But yet again, it's easy to push that on other people and be like, it's their fault that that situation's come up. This is what these people want me to be. When in truth, that might be how he looks at himself. If you ever seen his pictures on Instagram, like some of those mirror pictures he has, it's the self-portrait of someone who probably looks back at the years that he's wasted and wondered to himself, could I have done more? Could I have been more? And then he justifies it by, it's everybody else's fault. They didn't give me the opportunity. They weren't there when I needed them. They were here 1 minute and then they just all went away. There's something I'd bring up.
Going towards an escort. All right, even though it's not, it's a lie. It's going towards taxes. But number two, they really want information about my girlfriend because they're nosy as fuck. These people are mentally challenged. They really have an obsession in their head. And they need to know everything about my life. And the fact that I've had things hidden from you guys for the purposes of safety for months and months, they can't fucking stand it. You know, I used to be a guy that was 100% transparent and I shared everything with you. And now that I've got private stuff, oh my fucking God, that's it. They're going nuts, man. They're going nuts. They're losing their shit. How dare he? How dare he have no information that he keeps from us? We need to find everything out. So what they're hoping for right now is that on this very moment that I'm going to reveal private information about my girlfriend to prove that she exists, to discredit this whole escort situation so that then they can get after her. That's what they want.
It's not even a matter of getting after her, to be honest with you. Like, he makes it seem like people are going to go out on a witch hunt for her. That's not the case. You have the majority of people on both sides of the spectrum who are like, this is a bad idea. Here, I'll be completely honest with you. From one man to another, and I use that loosely for you, Phil. Don't put her out here. Don't do it at all. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Do not put her out there. Do not put her in a video. Do not fucking show us pictures of her. Don't give us anything of her. Leave her be. Leave her be. Because if not, if she goes down, which she will, sadly, because the stress and the bullshit will catch up to her. Even though she wouldn't want it to, and certainly I'm sure you wouldn't want it to, it will. It's bound to. The moment she steps into that house, with everything that she has, she's already 1 foot deep. You put her on camera. We see this. We see her face in the flesh and whatnot. She's screwed. She is royally screwed. And for what? What does she benefit from doing that? Or for doing that? We know everything about you, Phil. We know where you are. We know where your car is at. We know what kind of car you have. We know exactly where everything's at in roughly a 40-mile radius, in all directions of your house. What makes her safe? Is she never going to leave? Is she going to work from home? No, of course not. Because you need to get those bills paid, Phil. So that means she has to leave. She has to go out there. And you don't think someone's going to run into her? You don't think people are going to be... that someone isn't going to pull some silly shit like, oh, okay, that's who that is. And then word ain't going to spread? I don't think it's going to get into a stalkerish type thing. At least I hope not. But once she's out there, she's proper fucked. Do yourself a favor. Keep her off camera. Because any stress, any bullshit that she goes through goes right to you. And then what are you going to do? You're going to lash out at people. And then what's going to happen? Your fan base is going to tell you, hey man, we told you not to do that. Hey man, we told you that you should. It was a bad idea. And then what? You're going to start banning them. You're going to start blocking them. And then what's going to happen with them? They're going to go over to these other channels and be like, hey man, we tried to tell him and he wouldn't listen. You know what I mean? And now look, he banned me for giving him advice, as you've done before. And then you're going to get so paranoid that it's going to drive her away to where she's like, I can't deal with this. And then someone else is going to slide into her DMs. And then someone else is going to just slide into her. And then you're going to lose her just like Panda. The thing is this is really going to hurt you. Because if you were with Panda for 5 years and she wasn't your soulmate, but you've known this girl for 2 months, 3 months since the summer, whatever. We'll say it's since the summer. So 4 months, and you're saying that she's your soulmate, and that you're already wildly in love with her, you've got problems. She's not your mother, Phil. I understand that you want a woman to take care of you, but good God, she is not your mother. You need to wake the fuck up. Because this is really, really bad. And your own fan base is saying that. This is weird. This is awkward. Don't bring her out there. Don't expose us to her when they're telling you don't do it. But you're going to do it anyway, though, right, Phil? Because in your own mind, oh, when they say no, it means yeah. Because in truth, you're looking at profiting off her. That's the whole scheme. You're going to put her out there. Yeah, I'm Darkside Phil. You know what I'm saying? Everybody shits on me, this, that, and the third. But look at my beautiful new girlfriend. Look at my soulmate. You know what I mean? Look what I have. And people are just going to look at her and be like, why? And then what, Phil? She's going to have to leave the house eventually. So then what, Phil? Someone's going to eventually find out if she has a Twitter, if she has a Facebook, if she has an Instagram, and there's going to be questions. Then what, Phil? Someone's going to notice her, maybe in a grocery store or something, and someone's going to bump into her and be like, hey, how you doing? Then what, Phil? These are the things that you don't think about.
They want me to give you her name. They want me to give you information about,
And that's what causes problems. And the funny thing is, well, not funny, but the irony is you're going down the exact same hole that you did with Panda. Almost to the T. Almost. And you already know how that worked out. So what's next, Phil? You're going to be, what, you're 35, you're about to be 36? So what? Let's say, if we stick to the same batting average that you've been going with before, so what? You're 41 and she leaves? Then what? You're just going to pluck up another one? You're going to hold on to her until you're, 41, so till you're 46? Pluck the next one when you're 51? Oh boy. It's not even funny. It's supposed to be amusing, but it's not. It's really not.
Anything personal about her, so that they can grow right after. That's what they want. I'm not doing it, because I'm not a fucking fool. I'm not. The bottom line here is, alright, that if you believe 100% slanderous speculation with zero factual evidence, you're a moron. Alright, you are. You are a moron. I'm sorry, you are. You are gullible. You are fool. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Now, here's the thing. On two fronts. One, if he's talking directly to that mod who ended up jumping ship, so to speak, and this person was a longtime friend of yours, was a confidant to a degree, this is someone that you trusted enough to give them personal insight on you, and you're saying these type of things about him, how does he feel about that, hearing you talking down to him like this? The second part is your fan base as a whole, which yet again, it's been proven that your fan base watches detractor channels and actually rather enjoys it. So then what then? So now you're bad-mouthing the very people that you rely on. I mean, remember, Brightside Viking showed up to a YouTuber stream, a detractor stream, and there was no heat, there was no problems, and you said he was welcome to do so. So what happened? Did this guy not give enough? Did he not, put enough out that day? Did he not give you enough on that stream that warrants this type of behavior? It's the way he talks down to people is one of the reasons why he's so hated. And yet again, he habitually keeps making the same mistakes over and over and over again, believing that things will change. And then he wonders why things are gradually getting worse for him. He'll pluck out the little things in his life that he thinks are going right and just ignore everything that's going to shit. But please believe his fan base will pay for it. When does it stop? Like, when does it just stop? Like, how long do you want to, like, how long can somebody live like this? And how do you call this a life? It's really more of existing more than living in a lot of ways. But in truth, and this is going to be the sadder aspect of it, it's all he has. He doesn't have anything else. That's the thing that separates him from his detractors. A detractor can do this for however long they want to do it, and then they can just drop it and walk away. Phil can't. Phil's been telling you for years, you guys have to give me money. You have to give me this and that, because if not, I'm going to go away. I'll have to go and get a real job, and then the YouTube thing goes away, and the streaming thing goes away, and so on and so forth. He's peddled that nonsense to you for years. He has perpetually given you that snake oil for years, and he's still here. He hasn't gone anywhere. And why hasn't he? Because there's nowhere for him to go. At rock bottom, at the truth of the matter, there's nowhere else to go. One day, Snort Burnell is going to be gone. One day, Almighty Tevin's going to be gone. One day, Argent's going to be gone. Theo's going to be gone. David Davidson's going to be gone. Volt Boy's going to be gone. Cruz is going to be gone. Just for example. All these guys are going to be gone. And a whole new group of people are going to pop up to take their places. I'm going to be gone. Like I said, a whole new group of people will come in and take our places. And Phil will still be there because he has nowhere else to go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, should be the emphasis of this whole video, if nothing else, is that it's one man continuing to make the same mistake over and over again, and his end game is he's never going to get anywhere. He's going to always be right where he's at now. Till he's 40, till he's 50, sadly, you know what I mean? This is what he's hung his hat on. It's all he can do. And he's too scared to do anything else because he doesn't know how to do anything else. So he won't. Remember, he can't find a job out there in his particular field because he says he's been out of the field too long. And then, more importantly, he's an idiot because he believes that he's been out the game for 8 or 9 years, but expects to come in entry level with a salary in a field that he hasn't been in almost 10 years? What else can he do? And let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to YouTube and Twitch, he can't even do that right. He doesn't do very well at that. So you're talking about him putting on a fucking shirt and tie, coming to work on time, and doing his fucking job? And you think he's really going to be able to, you think he's really capable of doing that? No, not at all. And that's why he has to do this. Because in the outside world, in the real world, he can't control anything. Even with this here, there's just a little bit of control there. There's a little bit of control. And he won't give that up. And he won't give that up. But in truth, though, at the end of the day, he just can't do anything else. This is all he has. This is it for him. This is his final destination, no pun intended. He just can't do anything else. Just saying.
You really need help because there's so much shit that goes on planet Earth that's more important than any of this shit. Honestly, like, you know what I mean? And for the fact that people are obsessing about this shit, it's insane. It's unhealthy. It's unhealthy for you. You are really in a bad way, and you need to seek help. If this is what your main focus of your life is, you really have problems, okay? Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing on top of all of this, folks, which is hilarious to me anyway. As I said, the whole thing's false. This morning I've been talking with my girlfriend. Now, I didn't mention any of this stupid shit to her because actually this happened after I stopped talking to her. I was talking to her all up to the point where I was setting up my stream. Okay? And, you know, she's out and about doing stuff today. She's got a day off from work, and I'm talking to her about all the stuff she's doing and everything. And I'm like, you know, we're making plans that if I can get past this tax hump in January, that she can maybe move in with me in 2018. And I'm thinking to myself now...
Wait. First off, does she really want to move? I don't know where she's at. She, you know, the way he described it, she's on the East Coast. But, you know, does she really want to move? Does she really want to pick up and move clear across the United States, for example? Is that really something that she wants to do? Does she really want to get up and give up her friends? Give up maybe whatever family that might live in her particular state? Does she want to give up her job? Does she want to give up everything that she's been doing over some relationship that she had online for 4 months? Are you serious? Who would be dumb enough to do that after 4 months? A year? Maybe 2? Okay. But after 4 months? And the thing is he really expects her to do it. Are you... What? Like, how does that make sense? How does that even sound like a good idea? That sounds destructive, to be perfectly honest with you. That sounds like very destructive behavior. And she probably shouldn't do that. Like I said, at the end of the day, she can do what she wants to do. But that doesn't sound like exactly a very good idea, especially with someone that she barely knows. The fuck are you in love, dude, and you barely know her? And she barely knows you. Shit, even what you do online isn't a full disclosure of who you are behind the camera. So, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Why would she want to do that? And then when you hear him explain what she's supposed to bring to the table, it just makes it sound even worse.
As all this is going on, man, people are going to feel incredibly fucking stupid pretty soon. Because if I can get past this tax issue and, you know,
But back to my point, though. So, he gets over the tax situation, and then what? He gives her the okay to go ahead and move? Does she already have her bags packed? Is she already ready to go? Like, you know, and that's what he makes it sound like. He makes it sound like, oh yeah, she's already has her bags packed and waiting to come over here. I just gotta get my tax stuff out of the way first. It doesn't work that way. At least I hope it doesn't. It's neither here nor there.
Say, in the first half of the year, you know, she does move in with me. All right. She's obviously going to start showing up in videos. In fact, you know, there's a couple playthroughs coming up that maybe we could do co-op in. Obviously, when I do DSP Tries It, she's going to end up being a part of DSP Tries It. Okay? You know what I mean? Like, she's going to be part of it. Now, am I going to give out all her personal information? No. But you're going to see her in my videos. You're going to know she exists. You're going to know she's real. It's just a matter of time. You know what I mean? And it's so hilarious to me because you're going to be proven wrong. So all this stupidity that's happening is all going to be disproven. And I'm just like, how could you, in your right mind, act like this and not realize how dumb you're going to look so shortly? You know what I mean? I'm just like, oh my God, I don't know. So anyway, let's put it this way, folks. This whole thing is stupid. I actually feel bad because now apparently I've got someone who used to be someone who I trusted, who was a mod, who apparently now is out there spewing crap about Phil told me in a private message that his girlfriend made him brownies, and that's evidence that, you know, that obviously it was the escort that made him brownies because the escort had posted 2 days earlier that she had made him Dutch recipe brownies. And now Phil said that they just made Ghirardelli brownies. But maybe that's a spin on it. Maybe she added something to the Ghirardelli brownies to make them her own personal brownies. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Huh? I just... oh my fucking Lord. I just don't get it anymore. None of this makes any sense. None of it. It's just so stupid. Okay? Alright. So allow me to summarize here, folks. This is so stupid. Okay? Let's put it this way. Alright? I have a girlfriend. I've been dating her since the summer. I want her to move in with me in 2018. We love each other. But I've been protecting her from the internet because I know what would happen if her personal information got out on the internet, in particular, especially if before she were to live here with me, what would happen if her information got out on the internet would be really bad. We saw what happened previously with my previous relationships, and I'm very much wiser to the whole situation now, all right? There's a group of people who hate my guts and want to hurt me in every possible way, all right? They've completely fabricated a story based off of zero facts, but only off of things that I publicly shared about myself and my girlfriend and the time that I spent with her. They spun it into complete nonsense, all right, and made up a completely fabricated story about an escort visiting me and that I don't have any tax situation, but instead I'm raising funds to pay for an escort. It's 100% false. It's based off of 0%. Unlike other things that people have said negatively about me in the past, it's based off of no factual evidence whatsoever. There's nothing that they've even spun. They literally just made it up out of thin air to make me look bad, and so that things like, for example, my fundraiser tomorrow would be unsuccessful. All right? I feel sad for anyone who believes the stupidity of the stuff that people say with no factual evidence. I really do. And I feel bad, in particular, for this longtime fan of mine, moderator of mine, who sadly fell into the black hole of nonsense. I really do. I feel bad because that's terrible to live like that. It is. Just believe shit and because and there's the other thing too. So apparently I did mention these brownies or whatever, on a stream. So again, it was public knowledge just to those who were here all the time, who listened to my pre-streams or whatever. So again, they took something that I said publicly that I revealed and turned it into something that was supposed to be exclusive info, and then trying to basically fool me with a PM about a recipe, right? It's nuts. And, I'm not going to play these fucking games anymore. It's so stupid. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because the whole stream chat this morning, before I even got to start talking about games or whatever, was talking about stupidity like this. It's just so dumb. All right? It's out of control. So that being said, I'm done with it. I'm not going to address it anymore. All right? It's stupid. It's complete stupidity. It's not grounds in any factual basis. There's no evidence of anything, because there can't be evidence of anything, because it's not true. That would be the thing. If I actually, if any of this were true, I'd obviously be running around desperately trying to cover information up. There's nothing to cover up. The whole thing's fake. There's no work for me. I didn't even know about this until this morning when my stream chat was overflowing with fucking idiots. You know what I mean? I didn't know that any of this had happened because I'm not paying attention to it because it's all fake.
Now, keep in mind, full of idiots. These are the people who are sub to his channel. These are people who send him donations, who send him bits, who send him cheers, who tip him, so on and so forth. And yet they're a bunch of idiots. I mean, arguably, you would say they're a bunch of idiots because they donate, they give him money. But they're really a bunch of idiots because they're talking about brownies. Okay. Alright, no problem.
It's all bullshit. It's so dumb. Alright. Ugh. So, folks, that's the deal. That's what's going on. The latest drama nonsense. It is garbage. Ignore it. If you're intelligent, you'll ignore it. And stay with us here in reality on the fun gameplay streams. And have fun with me every day. And, if you're gullible and you want to go get sucked into the black hole of the anal sphincter of nonsense of the internet, go right ahead. I can't stop you. If this is really how you want to live your life, in the world of drama and speculation and rumor and nonsense that's based on no fact, go right ahead. I mean, I don't want you to. I'd rather have you have a happy, healthy life and be on streams with me and have fun. But I certainly can't stop you from doing stupid shit either. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just a streamer on the internet. I just play games for a living. I have fun, and that's all it is. If people want to make shit up, they make shit up. Okay? All right, bunch of troll. King of Hypocrisy did a 10-bit cheer, and he said, today on this episode of TMZ on DSP. Now, I know. That's literally what this is. So at this point, all right, it's so stupid. It's literally these idiots have made a TMZ about me that I don't even participate in. That's the thing. I don't even do anything with it. It just exists outside of me. And that's the thing. You're damned if you do, and you're...
What are you talking about? You just had a 40-minute pre-stream on it. Shit, in truth, you contributed to it.
Damned if you don't. All right? Because if I don't address it, then everyone just believes it. If I do address it, oh, well, now Phil's giving the drama attention and he's wasting too much time talking. So what am I supposed to do? I can't...
You just shut up and actually play games and pretend like you're having fun and ask for money. That's what you're supposed to do. Just like how with Machinima, when they told you, hey, we don't have any information for you yet, just stay put and whatnot and keep working, you should have did that. Instead, you got butthurt, told them you didn't want to be with them anymore, and they dropped you. And you were surprised by it. You made an idle threat, and they called your bluff. And you failed. Yet again, you just don't know when to shut up. You don't know when to quit. You don't know when to stop and whatnot. That King of Hate moniker is one of the worst things that ever happened to you. Because now you feel like you have to live up to it. And in turn, it's one of the things that hurts you the most.
Win either way, right? If I ignore it, nothing good happens. If I talk about it, nothing good happens. So, the only reason I brought it up today, like I said, is because the entire stream chat was dominated by this talk about fucking brownies. And apparently, again, someone who I had trusted, someone who, supposedly was trying to, give inside info as proof of something that was complete nonsense. And I felt that I should bring it up because there might be some people who are like, oh, well, if a former or if a mod of Phil's believes it, then I must believe it too. Don't fall into the black hole of stupidity. Okay, just don't. That's why I really wanted to bring it up. All right. Let's see here. Regulars 1 did a 10-bit cheer. He says, I don't mean to be rude, but how is the tax thing the detractor's fault? It's not. I never said it was. The tax issue is the issue of my old tax attorney from Connecticut screwing things up. Taking my money, saying he was doing my taxes properly, and never actually researching the proper tax codes here in Washington State. That's his fault, not the detractors. But
yet again, how did you get your deductions, though? How did you get all those business write-offs? How did you get all those business write-offs? You know what I mean? If he wasn't doing something right. And more importantly, he said it's been 3 years that he went without paying his business tax. Like, I mean, yet again, you could say, well, he didn't catch their eye until that guy notified them and so on and so forth. Plus the whole business flyers and magazines and so on and so forth. But I don't know, like I said, the whole thing doesn't even sound right. It sounds very peculiar on how all that shit worked out.
Detractors did notify the state of Washington about it. They did sign me up for the business mailing list, and they're the ones who tipped them off. Not to say that is even that bad of a thing, because better that I found out now than 10 years down the road, right? And now I owe 10 years of back taxes. That would really suck. But, no, they're not directly responsible for that. And I never said they were. I don't know why you're saying that. Alexander Rossi did a 50-bit cheer. He says, a great man once said, if you tell a lie big enough and you keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. I guess that's what the detractors are trying to accomplish here in order to discredit your relationship. There you go. And like I said, the stupidity of it is, none of it's going to matter, because if and when my girlfriend moves in with me, it's going to prove that she exists. You know what I mean? the whole thing is so stupid anyway, because there's no way that this lie that these idiots are propagating could possibly survive. So you tell me what the fuck. Again, what they're trying to do is hurt me in the short term. Long term, they know they're going to be disproven. But short term, they're trying to hurt me as much as they can. Let's get people to not pledge and not tip and not do this to help out Phil, because fuck him, because we hate him, right? That's what it is. Framework did a 500-bit series, and the pre-streams are what they thrive on. You might want to think about changing these in 20. No. What they thrive on is hurting me. This pre-stream did not hurt me at all. Their nonsense.
You missed the point.
Is what hurt me. And the fact that people, like I said, like this person who was a longtime fan and friend of mine who helped me out with stuff and was a mod, the fact that that person believes their nonsense, that's what's hurting me. Not the fact that I talked about it on pre-stream today. All right.
See, he's missing the point. And this goes back to the whole emergency situation all over again. If you think about it. Oh, well, that didn't hurt me. I didn't have nothing to do with that. I just told them about what happened and why I had to leave the stream. And granted, he's saying that they were already broken up. That's still up for debate. But that was certainly the last stick. That was the last thing that broke the camel's back, essentially. You know what I mean? Yet again, he doesn't want to stop doing the pre-streams because he needs them. He needs the pre-streams to drum up the controversy, to have the videos made up on him, to keep his name relevant. You think is he probably butthurt that his videos are not nearly as high up in the search when you look for DSP? I'm sure he is. And whatnot. His ego won't allow that to happen. But at the same time, we continue to breathe life in there. So some people are like, oh, well, why don't you go ahead and just stop reporting on him or stop talking about him or whatever the case may be and whatnot, and he'll go away. Someone else will just come into our place and do it. It doesn't even matter, actually. While people are here, more people continue to show up. He's literally the gift that keeps on giving. But the thing is when he's giving good advice, he won't take it. Anything that would require him to change a portion of himself that he already has regimented, he's not going to do it. And more importantly, he thrives on this shit. He's not smart enough to know how to handle it. He doesn't know how to damage control. He doesn't know how to scale back. And that's one of his biggest shortcomings, in my personal opinion.
And a Baba Booey to you. Interesting. Just tipped me $2. I said, the problem is you have a really bad habit of giving people info. No one needs to know if you have a girlfriend. It doesn't affect your business if we know or not. Well, that's true. But at the same time, when my girlfriend was here during her time...
Yet again, why couldn't he just take that at face value and just be like, you know what, you're right. And then that's it. He always has to have some type of response. He has to always have some type of justification on why he does what he does. Even when it blows up in his face, he still has to have some type of justification. Just so he feels like he has some control. You know what I'm saying? It's really poor behavior. In my opinion.
Visiting in December, we wanted to at least share a little bit of what we were doing. I wanted to show, oh, look, we baked cookies. Look, we're decorating the tree. And that was the thing. People wanted a tree pictures and a tree vlog.
And you could have done that without her being in it.
But my girlfriend was here, so obviously I gotta admit that she exists, And I'll be honest, too. My girlfriend is upset because, she's like, man, I really would like to be part of your life and reveal myself and, but I can't. I know I can't because people will use that information right now to hurt me. And it sucks, she wants to be a part of everything, but she can't because she knows exposing her private info will hurt her until eventually she gets to a point in her life where maybe she can live with me, and then it doesn't matter because we live together. It's all going to be shared info anyway. You know what I mean? Gucci the Jacuzzi did a 50-bit cheer. This is an interesting one. He says, I've been on both sides of hating and loving what you are and what you do. That being said, anyone with common sense can tell that making accusations against someone without any concrete proof is a stupid fucking thing to do. And even if you had an escort, why do people care so much about your relationships and sex life? Quite disturbing. Well, first of all, I'm just going to say it once again. I didn't have an escort. I've never paid for the companionship of a woman ever in my entire life. That's ludicrous to me. So I'm just confirming that. But, yeah, these people are fucked. I don't know what else to say. They're fucked in the head. Anyone who literally their existence on YouTube is based around trying to get private information about me and my life now that I'm not revealing a lot of stuff about it is nuts. It's just that simple. There's no other explanation. There's no other justification. They're fucking nuts.
Oh boy! All right, ladies and gentlemen. Kind of glad that's over with. Jesus Christ! All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go into GTG Radio, and have a triple play for you, and then we'll go into my final thoughts, and then we are done. We are fucking done. So enjoy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much the wrap up to my I guess outlook on the Brownie plot, aka BrownieGate. I've given you kind of the both sides to the circumstances and whatnot. It's provocative in its own way, to be honest with you, but at the same time, though, it could be extremely destructive. And at the end of the day, Phil ends up losing. So there you go. If I had to give any of you guys some advice, just sit back and just get it for the laughs. You know what I'm saying? Which is what this is supposed to be. At the end of the day, it's supposed to be just entertaining. It doesn't need to be pushed to any extreme levels. Trust me, Phil will screw himself over in the end. He doesn't need any help. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy it. You know what I mean? Whoever your particular detractor of choice is, just go to his or her channel, sit back, relax, and enjoy it. Now, I will put it out there that the 12th or the 13th of January will be a very interesting, or two interesting dates that you should pay attention to. We'll see if anything comes out of it. Because at the end of the day, it should all conclude on one of those 2 days. So, there you go with that. But ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think about this whole situation. What are your thoughts? Is there anything that you want to add to this? I very much appreciate it. I apologize that it went as long as it did, but it didn't go as long as I thought it would. So thank God for that. So yeah, there you guys go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network and Productions. Happy New Year's, ladies and gentlemen. This is my first video of 2000. Well, not really. Actually, the other video was, but that was only because it went up late. Speaking of which, thank you guys for supporting the last video, because I know it went up late. I know that shit was hella long. And thank you very much for kind of just listening in. I very much appreciate it. I have a second channel, nothing on it. And I'm just going to probably randomly just put some videos up there. So you guys might just end up seeing it. You might not. I'm not asking anybody to go over there. When it pops up, it pops up. I kind of like the idea of doing that. Of just, you know, if you guys find it, you find it. And yeah, I'm hoping to experiment with some stuff over there this year. Should be fun. Hopefully it's entertaining, which is what I'd like for it to be. And somewhat informative, but certainly entertaining. And who knows what 2018 has in store. Thank you guys for kind of riding out the last 4 months of 2017 with me. It meant a lot. I very much appreciate you guys for just giving me your time yet again, because your time is valuable. Believe it or not, it's very valuable. So thank you very much for that. And yeah, guys, shouts out to South Korea for being the only people not to ban, not to block my last video. Very much appreciate it. And hopefully this one should go up without any problems. All right, guys. I will holler at you guys later. This is GTG signing off. End of broadcast. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves out there. Just take care of yourselves out there. I have to come up with a new outro.